Forever. Dog.
Warning, the following podcast contains the origin of cosplay, Lord Zedd worship, toy vendor stalking, and Jason saying the name of a company that makes sweet pickles. All that, plus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers live with guest Johnny Gargano. It's podcasting time on Podcast The Ride. Welcome to Podcast The Ride, the theme park podcast hosted by three men who, if they were Power Rangers, would all have giant zords that resemble wet fish. My name is Mike Carlson. I guess I would also say like mackerel or something when I was doing that. Jason Sheridan joining me as always.
Explain yourself, please.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about what's like a lame animal that we would have when they say like mastodon, pterodactyl, those are dinosaurs. Obviously, but they've changed, so many times during Power Rangers, and I figured what would be our animals that our Zords would look like. So I thought wet fish makes the most sense.
Okay.
Jason Sheridan here.
Hi. Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I understand it now.
Okay.
I understand it now. I mean, I think a lot of fish are pretty, majestic and cool, but
Like a shark.
that's probably why
Yeah.
my fish, that's why my animal would be a wet fish.
Okay, fair enough. Scott Gardner here.
Well, first off, what other way would a fish be? That's their natural habitat. So it's no slam on a fish to say the fish is wet. If they're wet, they're living their best life.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So are we,
So
damn
a
it.
dry fish actually would be more embarrassing and would more play into the joke that I was trying to make that we're three losers.
Yeah, but also maybe more sad because of dry fish, you were thinking about their mortality.
Okay.
And while we might die in the face of a Power Rangers type battle, I don't regard ourselves with that degree of depression that we are fish choking on the deck of a boat. That said, there is some. I don't totally disagree with the metaphor, and I think within it we would still pick like are we who's a cod and who's a trout, and there's one with like a really harsh like scrod. Or it's not scrad.
Scrod is something Jason definitely ate growing up.
Scrod?
Right?
Good scrod guy?
I've not actively ordered scrod, but I've likely sampled scrod.
But that is like a mundane, like when we're maybe not serving the top of the line fish, maybe scrod is what we're looking
Is it
at.
like a bottom feeder is what they would call it? Like that's like a real like cheap, dirty fish.
I can't speak to that. I think it's definitely a fish where you're getting like a salad and a drink and a dessert with it. You're getting it on a platter with two sides. You know?
A lot of support. Like as with forming the big Mega Ranger, but needs help. Things added to it. When they all form, what's it called?
It's a Megazord or a Megazord or
so
like
a mega
many different types of Megazord.
scrod is helped out by mashed potatoes and a beverage.
Yeah, Jason's version of a Megazord is when a soup and salad combine to make a meal.
When you get both, yeah.
It's a big transfer. Oh, dude, and it's like going into his stomach and
Iceberg lettuce, go!
blue cheese, go!
And that's the
Scrod.
salad. That is most of the salad you have described right now at these sorts of family
good
restaurants.
2 ingredients, the ultimate salad,
Yeah.
ready for battle.
With the electricity and the soloing. We have a guest, though. We have to bring him. We have so much to talk about here. Folks, you know him from WWE, NXT, pro wrestling in general because he's Johnny Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Johnny Gargano.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, Johnny.
We're doing fine. We're talking salads here on Podcast
I
The Ride.
heard. You did. I like the idea of. I appreciate now that I'm here to kind of be the Power Ranger expert as well, because you had a mix up between Megazord or Dragonzord, and you know what it ultimately came. Megazord would be the correct answer.
Yes.
That you were looking for, by the way. But yeah, I get it.
First of many. I did my knowledge is not so great. So you've proven your knowledge vastly beyond mine. I'm sure it'll keep
So
going.
did you guys watch Power Rangers at all?
Yes.
Oh,
Growing
yeah.
up?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Did you? Okay.
Not
okay. Just making
me.
sure.
I explained this on the show once when Power Rangers came up before. We did a little like small component of Power Rangers once before. And I said that I was really into the Ninja Turtles. And then Power Rangers came around and I started telling my parents about it. And there's a bunch of them, and there's a red one, a yellow one, and they're all different types of animals. And my mom just said, "Hey, what if you skipped this one?" And I was like, yeah, I can see that. I can see the logic in that. Yeah, then we save the money on the toys. Okay, all right, not doing it. And that was the end of that. She like really.
So where did you
called
go
me-
from? You went from Ninja Turtles to where? What was your next?
Probably like reading Entertainment Weekly.
Oh, no.
Like reading Owen Gleiberman reviews.
Because I went through the natural progression of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Power Rangers. Like those were that was the next step in evolution for me. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, then pro wrestling. That was like my evolution.
Wow.
It would have been mine, I think, if that was the only missing component. I'd be right there with you.
Yeah,
we'd be in the
We'd
ring
fight each
together,
other.
I think. Yeah, guaranteed.
Johnny, any X-Men in there? X-Men between Ninja
Of
Turtles
course.
and Power
Yes,
Rangers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was a big X-Men the animated series person, a big Spider-Man the animated series person, as you can tell from my back wall over here. I have many a superhero toy and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like my. I think I started at like Sesame Street because I saw Sesame Street
Sure.
live growing up, and then obviously went to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then like there was a pit stop of like Spider-Man, X-Men, Power Rangers, all the superhero stuff, Batman the animated series, and then ultimately pro wrestling. And I always felt like I had like a weird thing in my head where I could only like one thing at a time. I don't know what it was. I felt like I was cheating on something if I liked something too much.
Right.
I don't know why that was my weird bugaboo when I was little, but that was apparently a thing that I did.
Oh, I tried to like everything at once and just permanently damaged my brain forever, basically.
Yeah. Power Rangers, you're a little younger than I am, but Power Rangers I knew was maybe not something I should like because I was so sophisticated, but I did like it regardless and would I remember I did get the Dragon Zord. So when I said that, I'm really embarrassed that because I know what the difference is.
I'm sorry for calling you out on that. I was sitting here
okay.
as a Power Ranger fan, like, what is he doing? He's blowing it.
You're a bigger Power Rangers fan than I am for sure. But I did drag my at 9 p.m. My mom or 8:55. Toys R Us called us and they were like, that Dragon Zord you have on hold, we have it in stock. And I begged my mom to go that moment. She's like, we can go tomorrow, can't we? And I was like, we cannot go tomorrow. So we bolted to Toys R Us to get that Dragon Zord.
So the Dragon Zord to me was if I had to pick one Christmas present as a child, as the one that was the height of my happiness, it would probably be the Dragon Zord because my parents Christmas storied me, if you understand that reference. So I wanted the Dragon Zord so much. That was the number one thing I wanted on my Christmas list that year. And I opened all my presents and it wasn't there. And I was heartbroken, only for my dad to be like, is there something behind the tree? And then for it to be behind the tree. So, but that was a thing that my parents did. After that, they saw how well it worked out. They did it every single year then after that. But they did it in new, unique ways where it'd be okay, the Dragon Zord was behind the tree. What can we do next? Okay, we're going to leave this pinball set on his bunk bed and say that Santa fell asleep in the middle while he was delivering the presents. He had to take a nap and he left it there. Hey, Johnny, go let the dog outside. Oh, the present's at the bottom of the steps now. So I say all the time now, looking back on it as an adult, I'm my parents really should have just sucked it up and been we're going to have a bad Christmas this year. Because after that, I kind of expected where's the big present going to be? Where's it going to end up? One year, they should have just been you didn't get it. So then the years after that, there's always that little hint of danger where it's maybe it's not going to be there this year. So that's my parenting tip for anyone else out there that I will eventually probably do to my son now.
Yeah. So you have a new son, very new. And so you're saying every 3 or 4 Christmases, you're going to really let him down.
Yeah, hopefully he's just a bad person that year so I can kind of justify it.
Oh, sure,
but
yeah.
We'll see.
When he's 4 and he's really bad.
Yeah.
See,
life lesson.
My parents, I also got the Dragon Zord for Christmas one year, and it was out of the box with everything put together and any stickers or decals put on it. So it was ready to go. And I think that was the last year my parents went that far because those were so complicated. I think maybe one year I got an N64, some sort of video game system where it was set up and ready to go.
Right. You're saying that's the last time they put some hard effort into assembling.
Well, no, but in addition to wrapping, then having to assemble these plastic toys that honestly are pretty easy to break.
Yeah. My mom and dad, let's assume my dad was there, put together the Ninja Turtle sewer for me, so it was out of the box on Christmas morning. And that's probably the that's the best Christmas memory of seeing the sewer, which fell apart immediately and never stayed together.
See, I had the sewer too, but I got weird presents in weird ways. So my parents said I couldn't get the sewer for some strange reason, but my grandma at the time got it for me and put it underneath. Like my dad has a restaurant, and she used to sit at like the desk at the restaurant and answer phones. She'd be like, Johnny, go underneath the desk. And I crawled underneath the desk, and the sewer was just sitting underneath the desk. And like, she didn't tell my parents that she got me the sewer. So I had a little surprise, like secret sewer underneath the desk at my parents' restaurant.
You were constantly on guard for presents.
I know. You just never knew what could happen. Yeah, I know.
Like, you were worried, not being about like getting scared or something of like, I'm going to turn the corner and there'll be a present there.
To be fair though, like I kind of miss that little bit of like danger now, because back then, especially with like the Dragons or the sewer or these hot toys at the time, where like you couldn't find them. Like there was a very real risk where like the movie Jingle All the Way is real. Like that was based on Power Rangers, obviously, because there's a very real risk where like a parent couldn't provide that toy for their child for Christmas. And I kind of miss that now, because like with eBay and like the internet, like something's always going to be available if you're willing to pay an astronomical price for it. But like I missed like the danger of I'm a psychopath. I want to like go to Toys R Us if those still existed and wait at midnight and try to get this toy for my kid. Like I feel like that'd be fun. Maybe I would hate it after a while, but at least once I want to try it.
Well, guess what? The danger of not getting things you want is back. What with the supply chain issues? Let's go, Brandon. Right? So, you got your wish.
Scott, not now.
Not on the theme park
you said
podcast.
I could start doing it on this one.
Not this one.
Not my
one.
podcast I do under a pseudonym.
Yeah, let people find that one on their own. Well, so I want to talk real quick about toy collecting in general because we have a lot. We're going to talk about Power Rangers Live today, but a couple topics real quick. So we're talking about toys because there's doing a lot of retro toys now. You see, you have some also to the listener who might be listening. This is a video. We're doing a little video now. So if you go to, I assume, Brett Forever Dog YouTube, we'll probably put that up there.
Who knows?
Or our YouTube, whatever.
Or it's just
we'll
parts
have a link.
sword, or no one sees it, or it goes into a vault and you don't see it till we die.
It's possible.
Any amount of options.
We have a Prince-like vault that we're putting a lot of video content into.
Finally, the Johnny Power Rangers episode. Our 2054.
Our estate will release it posthumously, and it'll be very exciting. But you'll be able to see what we're talking about, is what I'm saying.
Here at the Forever Dog Studios, by the way.
Yeah.
Where there are lights on us and we don't look ashen gray as we usually do on camera.
But these lights are hitting my massive forehead, and I am trying not to be self-conscious about it.
Well, now you know.
They are
you need
really
a hat for next time.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah.
But Johnny, you have a ton of vintage toys and I believe retro, like new retro packaging toys. And there's so much stuff like Ninja Turtle stuff I've talked about on the show before. Some of the Ninja Turtle stuff is what you're describing, where I have to drive to Targets to try to find it. And I think it's actually
the NECA ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The NECA cartoon line specifically, because the movie line is only at Walmart. The cartoon line is only at Target. Of course, we all know that. So there is some, yes, I completely agree with you that there's some like old school thrill now I get when I'm like, oh, you think Target's got it? And like, I have a couple buddies and we're all like in different parts of town. So we're calling each other and like, oh, I got the one on Sepulveda. They don't have anything. I ran into the NECA rep, which is a guy who comes and stocks the shelves. And then I'm just like lingering around him while he's taking the box stuff out of the boxes.
You run into the guy who stocks for that company.
It is like running into a celebrity if you ever run into a NECA rep, because Target cannot stock NECA products themselves. They need a third party to stock. So there's a NECA rep that comes in with boxes, and he comes into and he goes into the back and he grabs the boxes. Excuse me, and then he stocks them.
And he has to grab them. It can't just be a touch.
He has to grab them. Yes,
he's got to sink his claws into it. Just legally,
he has to touch all four sides of the box.
Have you tried bribing? Hey, like, buddy, there's a up and up trail mix in it for you if you give me a heads up.
I say the most embarrassing things. I'm like, oh, so is this like sort of your normal time when you do that? Because and you can tell he's just like, oh, get away from me, old man.
There's a Starbucks refresher in it for you if you give me a heads up next time you're here.
So I've only had this happen once running into the NECA rep, which is just a very fun time. That's like seeing Santa putting things under the tree. Sure. So I completely agree with that. And there are still little pockets, but yes, by and large, you can get stuff on eBay for just like maybe $10, $20 over retail. But real quick, so we see, Johnny, you have like a great setup. I have a question just in general, because I am an out-of-box collector in general, and you're an in-box collector. And I'm fascinated by the display because I think you have recreated almost a toy store shelf, like shelves of a toy store. Is that what it is?
I did, yes. And also to kind of, I guess for the people that are watching, I did this on purpose as well. If you look up here, there's also a Toys R Us logo.
Oh, wow. Yeah, real.
So we really recreated. It goes to the ceiling. If you're watching, you can kind of see all this. But yeah, so this was very purposely done. I miss Toys R Us's very, very much. And Candice and I went to IKEA and we found these shelves that with pegboards and whatnot that you can kind of recreate your childhood in an essence. And like you said, I am an in-box collector. I believe the artwork on the box is some of the fun in the nostalgia as well. Seeing like the Spider-Man the Animated Series logo and like the X-Men logo, like that sort of thing. Like, I don't know, it just warms my heart. And also I feel like they're easier to display for me, because if they were out of the box, then I'd have to like put them on shelves and like display them, and I'm bad at posing and things like that. So this way, like I can just have pegboards and kind of stack them like 3 deep and kind of collect more in itself. And I actually have the only NECA product I have the NECA Toka and Razor down there, because I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie guy as well. That's my first movie I saw in theaters. But to be fair, I do have a out of the box. All my Hasbro collection, my wrestling Hasbros are out of the box, because that's an astronomical price to pay. I'm sure you can talk to Matt Cardona about that. That's an astronomical price to pay for in-box WWF Hasbros.
And those are vintage. Those are
Those are old.
Makes sense.
Mike, do you feel like he's missing out by not, like in your case, that you set up jam sessions between the Ninja Turtles and Doc Brown and Marty? And is Johnny missing out on?
I don't think he's missing out, because I really have like tried in my older years to really appreciate everyone's philosophy about it, because I do get that going into a Toys R Us aisle was the most exciting thing in the world. So what you're doing is you're stimulating that old memory in your child brain of when you'd round the corner, you'd go past all the Barbies and everything, and you'd round the corner for the action figure aisle, and you didn't know what was in there. So anytime you go in there and there's that much stuff all in boxes, you're getting that surge of serotonin or whatever it is. Adrenaline.
I should tell Candice to just buy me a new toy every week and just put it on the ceiling, on the wall. So every time I walk in, I'm like, oh, what's in here this time?
Yeah. You could even arrivals. You could stock like an end cap display of something new too. That's
Trust
just
me,
like
I have enough weird bug of like weird things with my childhood that like I Candice puts up with. Like another weird thing I have that she deals with all the time, which this year we didn't do it, but I did it all the time, where I have a weird thing about Christmas to where the presents can't go underneath the tree until I go to sleep. So she has to like wake up in the middle of the night and put the presents underneath the tree
for you.
We do that
for me.
Yeah, my family does that as well. I don't see a problem with that.
Oh, that's you too.
You still have to do. You go to sleep. There's no presents.
Everyone goes to sleep, and then my mom, I think, has resorted to just getting up early. I think used to stay up late.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which she can't, I imagine, would not usually, like, so has to, for one night of the year, push herself to the limit.
I think it's as much her as me at this point.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
You get one magical night. You get one magical night a year.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I understand that. I think we've gotten lazy about it. We used to be like that, but now in my mid to late 30s, we've stopped doing it. You were mentioning your wife, Candice LeRae, who has been on podcasts right before, and I also wanted to check in on something because she told us a story a couple of years ago about an idea you had, and I'll let you tell it, an idea you had for the birth of a child.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I want to know if anything like that happened.
No.
Okay.
I think I can. I was looking at it from an outsider's perspective of obviously, like I'm sure, like Candice said, my idea was to kind of recreate the Lion King. I don't know if she went full deep into what my pitch was, but I wanted to get like a Rafiki-esque monkey to come into the delivery room, and I kind of wanted to, maybe spread the news to the people waiting in the way. Obviously, with COVID and stuff as well, it was a little a little harder to sneak a monkey in the delivery room.
Just a little. It used to be 2019. This is cake. But.
I definitely could have done it back then, but now it's so many restrictions. I was going to kind of pitch, kind of put it out there that maybe it's not going that well, to kind of bring the mood down in the waiting room for the family.
That's what people want to hear, what your closest relatives and family want to hear.
Like, maybe it's not going well. And then like I come out and my head's down. I'm like, oh no, it didn't go well. Then like the monkey busts out and like he holds up the baby and a big moment happens where everyone's losing it because Rafiki monkey shows up. He does the Lion King thing with the baby. The baby is presented to the family. Obviously, now that we had the baby and seeing everything that it goes through, that did not happen. Nothing like that happened.
Taking you through the process lets you know that immediately, instantly handing a frightened newborn over to a monkey who you have just met for the first time, as if like knowing the monkey would help. But a stranger monkey, maybe
stranger
some
monkey,
comfort,
not a friend monkey, a stranger monkey.
Well, they're famously reliable creatures. You can predict what they're going to do moment to moment.
Lion King is based on real life, right? I mean, that's just
that's true.
Based on true events.
I think if you trust her with a lion. There's also a detail of that I liked. I guess like any logistics of getting a monkey is crazy for sure, but I like your detail of a Rafiki-esque monkey because I couldn't tell you what type of monkey that is, but it seems like it's not one that I've just, they're not just like sitting around. They aren't at the theme park shows at the zoo. Yeah, that seems like a very specific varietal. So like, no, this monkey won't do. No, but they're trained. They'll be nice to the baby. Don't care. It's about the look.
Rafiki.
Candice, of course, asked me how we would sneak the monkey into the delivery room, and I said, well, obviously we dress him like a doctor. I mean, that's obviously what we do, right?
Yeah.
Dress him like a doctor, sneak the monkey in. Monkey's totally cool. He's totally chill, just waiting for this baby to come out, just hanging out.
This is great. This is like something that would happen in Disorderlies, the Fat Boys movie. This is hijinks. And then we got to dress up the monkey like a doctor.
Rafiki is a mandrill, which I am not 100% on, but I believe might be an especially violent kind of monkey. Traditionally,
I think he'd be cool. He'd understand the gravity of the situation.
He's
I think.
nice.
And he'd be like, "Oh, I'm doing the birth thing, right? You want me to do the birth thing, like the movie? Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
Some things are sacred, even to mandrills.
Again,
so there were no hijinks during what's probably good. No hijinks during the birth.
Yeah, especially good because I made the mistake of I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but the movie Fatherhood on Netflix. You guys know what that is? Starring Kevin Hart.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Based on true events, so where everything goes well in the delivery room, they have the baby, it's all great, and then Kevin Hart's wife dies due to a pulmonary embolism, which I Googled it immediately after watching this movie. So Kevin Hart has to raise the baby by himself. So I made the mistake of watching that movie on Netflix. Candice went to go get her hair done. We just found out she was pregnant. Went to go get her hair done. And I was like, I'm going to sit down with my dog and watch a movie on Netflix for the heck of it. I watched this movie. I'm like, Fatherhood, this should be great. And then I watched this movie and I'm like, oh my God, like this is a very real thing that could happen now. So the whole time, that was my number one thing in my head was like pulmonary embolism. You got to move, can't have blood clots in the legs. So I became that guy where I was like learning everything I possibly could to make sure this doesn't happen. Because if I have to raise this baby by myself, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy.
So, yes.
And also, I told her, I think if something happened where Candice went down during the pregnancy and I had the baby, I would kind of dislike the baby a little bit. I kind of...
Yeah, that's immediately that's a victim. Right? That's one victim. It's right at the very beginning of their life.
He's got one down already.
One day, who knows how many more to go? This could be a mass murderer.
Candice said if like there was a thing going on in the room where there was a decision to be made between her and the baby, who would you pick? I said, well, I'm going to pick you because I don't know the baby. Like the baby could be a murderer. Like the baby could have turned out bad. I could be saving people right now.
This is such a roller coaster ride between like monkey prank and then like the worst reality possible. Like you really went on both sides. Like
I did.
Yeah.
Because look,
You're getting a little peek behind the curtain a little bit.
Sure,
how my brain works.
Sure.
You took it dark, by the way. I'm not wishing ill on Candice or anyone involved. But if something actually
everything went
bad
great.
happens,
Baby's great.
That's great. Well, yeah, that's more. We're not in the dark monkey reality.
We're in the happy timeline.
If something had gone wrong and then you still had the monkey thing loaded up. Now is it just like, hey, can you exit through the window? I have some actual bad news to report.
Yeah, we definitely. I don't think that. Like, I guess one way of thinking would be the monkey would kind of, if the monkey delivered the news, it'd be a little like, I don't know, like, would it be better? I don't think it'd be better, right?
One hand, might seem insensitive, but it might kind of brighten the mood as well because everyone got to see a mandrill.
Yeah,
right.
Seeing a mandrill is cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess it depends on if the monkey delivers the news before or after he rips some faces off.
It's true.
That's true.
It's true. It is true. It could just be
good point.
A real bad day in that room. But no, luckily everything turned out great. He's an adorable little guy. And no monkeys were utilized.
Utilized or harmed. No people were harmed by monkeys in the making of this baby.
It was a fairly regular delivery for the most part. It went a week. But I mean, it was a fairly regular delivery.
Sure.
Geez. Oh, wild.
And we were just talking before. I had seen that, like, I think you were trying to induce pregnancy by like doing like an 8-hour. Were you waiting for Figment popcorn bucket that day?
No,
okay, that was a different day.
No.
Oh my god,
that was a different day. But I like that. That's a perfect example of pregnant Candice. Pregnant Candice. We have serious FOMO, and I do in particular. And I abide by one Disney rule, and that's if you see something and you have the opportunity to get it, you better get it because it's going to sell out and it's going to be on eBay and it's going to be $1 million. So if you have the chance, you got to get it. So we went to Epcot that day to where the popcorn bucket was on sale, and the line got down to about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And the rumor online was it was like 7 hours. So hearing 3 to 4 hours when you've been hearing 7 hours, it was kind of like, man, like 3 to 4 hours ain't bad if we wait in this line. So, and when your pregnant wife, how pregnant? I believe was as pregnant as you can get, I think, at that point. Like the most pregnant you can be.
Wow.
The most pregnant you can be without a baby coming out. Like if your pregnant wife is like, I'm okay waiting in this line, what are you going to say? You're going to say like, no, I'm tired. I want to go home. It's like, you're okay doing it. So of course I'm going to do it. So we definitely waited in line for the Figment popcorn bucket. It was only like 3 to 4 hours. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. But,
only 3 to 4.
Yeah,
I'd be complaining about it after 10 minutes, and I don't have the ability to get pregnant.
Yeah. But then, like you said, like Candice had the idea to walk around Disney to induce labor. So we walked around Disney Springs the night before, and the morning that we were supposed to go and get induced, because Candice was hoping we'd be able to walk and it would help induction. The morning that we were supposed to get induced, we actually had breakfast reservations to get Tonga toast. And so like Candice booked it. She was like, let's go Ohana. No, not Ohana. It's
Kona Cafe.
Yeah, let's go to Kona Cafe.
Very good. He's got it.
Yeah, Kona Cafe. Let's go to Kona Cafe and let's get Tonga toast and eat breakfast. So we drove out to Disney at morning of the induction, drove out to Disney, ate Tonga toast, had a great morning. And to be fair, that's one of Candice's favorite memories because she says now, she was hoping to walk around Disney and she'd imagine it'd be like a TV show to where the water would break. And you'd be like, my water broke. We got to go to the hospital. Like one of those fun little instances. Well, when her water broke the next, like 2 days later at like 4 a.m, she said it was like a cartoony pop that happens, like a real cartoony pop.
Right.
And then like liquid just doesn't stop coming. So she's like, in hindsight, I'm really glad my water didn't break at Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of awful. She was thinking it was going to be a TV thing, not a TV thing. Kind of how I was with the Lion King thing as well. Not like that at all.
Because then the park has to put up signs that say you may get wet.
Yeah.
What's different about Tonga toast than I know it's different than regular toast, but what is Tonga toast specifically comprised?
Have you
of?
never had Tonga toast before?
I've not had Tonga toast. And where is the Kona Cafe? That's Disney Springs.
It's in the Polynesian.
Polynesian.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right. The Polynesian.
What makes it Tonga?
Ohana is also in the Polynesian, which I also recommend very highly. Great stuff, especially the noodles if they're back. But I think they're back.
They are back.
So
You know so much about this hotel.
So,
You haven't even
he's on
stayed
it.
at-
He knows.
He knows.
what's
Jason
going on.
knows.
I've stayed there.
No, but not recently.
No, not since
But you're up-
1991. No.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, a resident, somebody haven't stayed since 1991, and you're up on their current menu
I
items.
keep up on what the fans, the real heads, are talking about down in Florida.
The noodle
Tonga
thing was a
heads.
thing for a hot minute. People
It
were real mad
was.
about
Yeah.
the noodles.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
were real mad about the noodles.
I knew about
but
I knew about the noodles too. So
Yeah, it was a hot thing online. The Tonga toast is basically it's like a brick of toast filled with bananas. They it's like French toast, but they roll it in cinnamon sugar and it's stuffed with bananas, and you pour strawberry syrup on top of it. It's delicious. It's my number one. If I had to pick one Disney World breakfast, I think I would go Tonga toast. I think that'd be my choice there.
Sounds solid. I don't know. I wasn't looking at what anybody's feeds were doing, but with the video ability we have currently, did Jason's eyes get glazed like donut glaze? Did you just tear up
did he
slightly?
secrete donut glaze?
Only the listener
Oh.
can tell us.
No, I mean, I just usually have a certain level of donut glaze on me at any given time. I just naturally secrete it.
Yeah, I have not had it either. I will have it next time though.
It's great.
Yeah.
High recommendation. That's probably one of my highest recommendations I can give is Tonga toast.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Well, on that note,
Today's toast pick.
today's toast pick is Tonga toast. Let's get to the main course here. Power Rangers Live.
I think. Let's get titles correct. if we
Oh,
can.
yeah, sorry,
There's a few of them.
There are a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I saw of the video that we watched, I think, is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers World Tour live on stage. But what does everyone else have?
That sounds about right. I don't remember, but it sounds about right.
I think the shorter one was just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Alive.
Sure, gets the
Right.
job done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is currently a placeholder website for a Power Rangers live show.
Yes.
It is a WordPress. It is one page. There is a video play button that is just a PNG file. It does not play anything. But I did sign up to find out if it's coming to my area. And there are tickets for sale in Philadelphia in November.
There was a stunt show in Japan, a Power Rangers show in Japan when we were there a couple years. We didn't see it, but they're
At the Tokyo Dome?
in
at
Tokyo
that
Dome
little park
City
by
at
there?
least.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if it was in the Tokyo Dome
Saw ads
itself.
for that.
But yeah, so there's been versions of it, but we're talking today about the first version.
The 90s at the height of
Yeah.
Power Rangers Mania live tour that went around the country.
Right. And it is it's documented pretty well. This is we've talked on the show about the Ninja Turtles coming out of their Shells tour. This was a thing people were doing at the time. Obviously Sesame Street
He-Man
Live.
predated that. We talked about
He-Man
Griffin.
we've talked about. Yeah, so this was their version of it, which I would say this is almost maybe the biggest budget version.
I'd say so.
This thing is pretty impressive
From the video
when you look at it.
Who all of the people here today experienced this live in person?
Johnny
did.
Johnny did.
Yep, I did it. Yes.
Did
I
you,
did it.
Jason, or no?
did?
I saw it.
You did.
Okay. And
I
not
saw
Mike
it.
then.
Not me.
Okay.
I have some very specific memories. I saw it at Philadelphia's Convention Hall, which was an old venue down by the University of Pennsylvania. It used to be called the Philadelphia Civic Center. This is where the Jackson 5 did their first concert for Motown Records.
Wow.
A lot of NCAA games were there. WCW programmed their 1989 and 1992 Halloween Havoc pay-per-views
Wow.
and the
Wow.
94 Slamboree there.
Wow.
And it is long since bulldozed.
Oh.
The convention hall.
How
But
could they?
one of my biggest memories of the show, this was just forever glued in my memory. It doesn't have anything to do with the show itself. I was sitting next to someone who smelled so strongly of gherkin pickles. This
Wow.
is a childhood, 8 or 9 year old memory.
Gherkin, specifically.
Specifically, the
This is
sweet
a very specific
pickle
memory.
gherkins, and it just haunted me. The whole show, it was so distracting because I was like, their coat is bleeding over into my. Am I going to smell like gherkin pickles? Why does this person smell like gherkin pickles? What is happening? And
Gherkin.
it would just pull my attention so many times during this show.
Oh my god.
Questions. How do you know gherkin as opposed to other pickles?
Other-
Well,
sweet
I
pickles.
was a nasty little pickle kid, Scott, and
Ow, my ears.
He didn't
You
say
lit a
pickle boy.
match
He
in
didn't
him.
say pickle boy though.
I
did like, yeah,
it.
thankfully.
No, I think
nasty.
I
That's,
think
that's
I
really
had
that's the
been-
crazy word there.
I think I had been really into gherkin pickles as a kid, and then for a while I could not eat them because I was so haunted by this memory. I don't even know if I said anything to my family. My family might be learning about this very glued in my memory.
How could you not tell us? You've lived with this for decades.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe they worked at the factory?
I mean,
Was
it
nearby?
could be. There was a lot of like larger factory, like food production factories in Philadelphia at the time.
Wow.
I think also one of my memories of the show is there not being. I mean, there was plenty of Power Rangers merchandise for sale at the time. At this show, I don't remember like really coming back with a souvenir. And I was a real souvenir kid.
I had. So watching, it rehashed my memory watching the YouTube video. I definitely bought one of the weird, like, sword things that they show in the crowd that people have, like the weird rainbow sword thing, but like had nothing to do with Power Rangers. So like, I don't know why those are for sale. Obviously, they just had them left over from something, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna sell them for the Power Ranger show."
General events.
And I looked online. So me and Candice looked, and the only merchandise we could find was a denim jacket. With Power Rangers World Tour and a denim vest with Power Rangers World Tour. I don't know why, if those were on sale at the show, it felt like they would be, but what a weird particular choice of souvenir to have is a denim vest or jacket to sell for children.
But they
also had a program. I did have a program as well. So that was.
You can find the program online.
We just in February we did a lot of celebrity restaurants for Celebruary, and almost every restaurant had a denim jacket or vest. So it feels like that was a 90s thing that like business people were like, well, we got to sell a denim vest. We have to sell that.
Leno had only been on Tonight Show for a couple years, so everyone was taking their cues from him comedically and stylistically.
Of course,
he was our America's fashion voice.
That's right.
So what other choice did you have?
You had to use denim.
Johnny, where did you see? What were the circumstances of Power Rangers Live?
Okay, so I saw mine in Cleveland, Ohio, where I grew up and where I frequent very often. It's my hometown. And I remember I went there with. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my friends and their mom. I also remember, especially during that time period, my mom used to make me costumes all the time. There's pictures of me as a child dressed like the Green Ranger, dressed like the White Ranger, dressed like Shawn Michaels when I got into my wrestling phase. So I remember I dressed like the White Ranger to go to this Power Rangers Live. And I'm not going to say I invented cosplay, but it was one of the first incarnations of cosplay because a lot of parents and people were stopping me just to try to take pictures of me in my sweet White Ranger outfit. So like they'd be like, "Hey, you hit a pose," and I'd like do a pose, and like so people on their disposable cameras have pictures of young Johnny. If you live in Cleveland, Ohio, and went to Power Rangers Live, you might have a little White Ranger kid posing on your disposable camera somewhere, and it'd be me. So yeah, I remember that in particular. I also remember, so I was a very shy, socially awkward kid growing up. So like I didn't want to get picked on. Like I had a weird thing, like don't pick on me, like don't call me on stage, which is weird, obviously what my job ended up being, but don't call me on stage. Don't like call me out into the crowd. Like on the video, as you'll see, like when the putties run the crowd, I'm horrified. I'm like, I don't want to hit like a putty to grab me and pull me up on stage. That was my worst fear as a child for some reason, was being pulled up on stage at any point and being like, look at this kid. I thought that wouldn't happen.
Just look at him.
The part of the, you don't remember the part of the Power Rangers Live when they brought a random kid on stage? Like, hey, everyone look at this kid. Everyone make fun of this kid.
We don't usually do this, but when a kid's
this little
dorky
kid right
enough,
here, bring him up.
Man, yeah, I sympathize. That's because I saw the Turtles tour and I had a similar thing, but they did not have as many bad guys in the audience. They didn't really even have many foot soldiers, but this thing had tons of putties. Yeah. Putties are like the goons of Power Rangers, if you don't know. And it was the second generation putties with the little putty like emblem.
With the Lord Zedd logo.
With the Lord Zedd logo.
Which if you hit, will make them explode.
It made them easier to beat. I don't know why they upgraded to an easier to beat thing, but they all of a sudden had like light gray with a little like target on their chest, essentially. And if you just punched it, it would destroy them.
Yeah.
So-
Zedd's pride, I guess.
Yeah.
Zedd,
His
yeah.
branding came first.
I did not like the buddies on the show. I was happy when they died. Like, I don't know any other way to put it. They make this horrible noise that's like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Can I say that a lot of why I didn't mind when my mom just plainly said, don't get into the Power Rangers, and I agreed, some of it was because, and in rewatching it, I go right back there, that I do find so much of the show like nails on a chalkboard. The putty sounds is one of the things, and then the helmet head, Alpha 5.
Alpha 5,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I hate the I so thoroughly. I didn't like it then. It hit the same register as like Baby Bop on Barney.
No.
'Cause that was kind of around the same time, just like too irritating. Am I correct? Did everybody love Alpha 5? Am I a
I think
monster?
kids liked Alpha 5.
Yeah.
I think they thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
I like
but
a
to
little.
be fair, I just watched like the YouTube clip back. My mom was in town for Mother's Day, so we watched it together to prepare for this.
Wow. That
Because
was
she
your
took me
Mother's
there when I was a kid, and she even said like, "Man, he said I a lot." Like, so she even got like a weird head where she was like, "I hate Alpha 5." So it might be like an adult thing now where we hate Alpha 5. But I think
Yeah.
I remember kids probably loved him. He seemed like he would be loved, but
Yeah, I think a
remember.
little bit of slapstick in like a half-hour show is pretty good. In an hour and 10-minute stage show, there is like a lot of slapstick. There's a lot of hijinks in this.
I did not dislike Alpha, but I was more of a Zordon. I liked Zordon better. Zordon is a disembodied head in a tube,
Yeah.
played eventually by Bryan Cranston, in the
Cranston,
new
yeah.
movie,
Love that. in the movie.
which is great.
Bannock.
But my thing was with we'll show there's some clips from this show that I feel like when I'm watching it, like I'm ignoring any words that are said, but some of like when I'm watching the monsters yell, I go, this is maybe like my ideal version of entertainment. Like when Goldar is just like Power Rangers, and then blah, blah, blah. I go, this is maybe the height of entertainment for me.
Yeah,
These suits screaming, like this feels like Shakespeare to me. I'm not listening to anything he says. It doesn't even matter. It's just like this aesthetic now has been so burned in my brain that I love it. And at the time I loved it because like the kids are fine. I like Tommy. I thought he was cool. I thought they were all cool.
Yeah.
But the monsters were the thing I think I liked the best.
Is there some of that for you, Johnny, where like this is live entertainment that is fighting and where you cheer good guys and boo bad guys?
Yeah.
Was that like getting into your brain is like, I like this, I like the feel of this? Do you think it had anything to do with the mental chemistry of getting into wrestling?
I definitely think that like I say this all the time. Like I when I was little, I wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, then I wanted to be a Power Ranger, and then ultimately I wanted to be a pro wrestler because I feel like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and Power Rangers weren't real jobs I could attain in real life. And be taken seriously, I guess.
There's only
So,
6 slots too. You got a lot
I
more
know.
chances. with-
That's true. That's true. So I think like it's one of those things where like I could put on a different little costume and fight bad guys and be a pro wrestler. So I think it definitely played a part in my ultimate evolution in becoming a pro wrestler. It's just because, I couldn't be Tommy from the
Right.
Power
Wow.
Rangers growing up. Yeah.
Would you say like there's so like there's Johnny, there's all this talk about where you're gonna wrestle next? Let's forget that. What if somebody
Yeah.
came to you with a third option and said Power Rangers live on tour? You get to be the new Green Ranger, and you can like sort of maybe do better. Like the fighting would be a lot better if you're doing it. I would say.
Yeah. At one point I asked Candice, how much do you think these guys got paid?
Don't
like how much did-
No, don't look into that.
no. That's
Do you think bad? Real bad?
Yeah. Oh
Probably
yeah.
dirt. Yeah.
Not
They like
knowing
were
anything,
traveling
yes.
every night, right? I mean,
Well-
they're traveling city to city.
So they had to feed him some soup or
Ye-
something. They,
Yeah.
they
They
got
got
one
nothing?
cup of soup every night,
I
and that's
think
it.
there's a decent chance because like the actors on the show on Power Rangers were so
They
screwed.
were doing some stuff too. Like they were like going hard.
Yes.
Some of them were like some of the karate stuff. Like obviously they weren't coming close at all in their strikes or anything like that. But like
Right.
at one point, and I don't want to spoil the show, but at one point when the Power Rangers jump out, like they all like have their moment where they all like show up on the screen and they're like, I'm gonna jump out and have my moment. Like they were jumping off the stage, and like the fact that they didn't get seriously injured blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it was like slam dunk contests for a minute with Power Rangers.
Yeah. There's I think maybe it was one of the videos of the press event they had where like there's a couple big falls they take.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna say I think there's a decent chance because the actual actors that did Power Rangers were not in this show, but their voices were. But there's a chance that the actors who were actually doing the stunt work for this live show were paid better than the actors on the show, because the actors on the show were so screwed over. Like people were fired, half the team was fired. Just because they wanted actual real money that was being generated by the show.
I was not thrilled with that cast change because the leader of the team was named Jason, and then suddenly it's a guy named Rocky.
Oh yeah,
right.
But I believed the storyline so intently, and I was like, well, they have to go to that peace conference. So, but on the other hand,
Find the reason.
I didn't I wasn't a kid going like, what? They won't give them SAG representation. They're making the Saban company is making money hand over fist.
Well, so it's crazy, and I don't want to get too depressing here because it sucks to like think of the reality sometimes of the stuff we watch as kids. Brett, I have a clip here, clip 3, if you could play real quick. It's so crazy that the actors are not getting paid very well, and then this is the video going out to entice like places, like cities, to bring Power Rangers to them. So whenever you're ready here, hopefully this works.
#1 rated kid strip in October sweeps.
Look at this. They're just shit talking all the other shows.
Kicking bonkers ass.
Power Rangers clearly
Merry
outperformed
melodies.
all other strips.
Tom and Jerry
Despite
Kids
its 7:30
eat shit.
AM time
We're
slot,
just looking at a bar graph.
the show remained on the very top. during
Bonkers
both the
way at the
November
fuck you,
and
bonkers.
December sweeps period.
Power Rangers destroying Eek the Cat. Bobby's World. You're getting the grave, Eek.
Bobby World's doing pretty good.
Across the nation.
Yeah, that was high.
Yeah.
Teams.
Cut the we're good. We're good. Yeah. So
Bobby's
like
World got a 10.6.
yeah, Bobby's
These
World
are
highly rated show
There are
apparently.
levels of rating that don't exist anymore. Like when the finale of This Is Us will not come close to one random Bobby's World.
Like, what the hell was those? Seeing those numbers really makes me think how like popular television was back in the day. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh my god.
And Power
Also,
Rangers.
sad Darkwing Duck only got a 3.6.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
very.
Darkwing Duck was wrapping up its run. You know,
Oh, that
Bobby's
was right.
World still might
That makes
be
sense.
on
Okay,
top.
Bobby's
you know?
World was hot. The storylines were compelling.
Yeah. Well, it aired earlier in the lineup, so you're losing kids as the block goes on. So by the time it gets to X-Men, you might be a little.
Oh, they got chores to do.
Yeah.
Go sweep the yard.
I was impressed with Eek the Cat's performance, quite frankly.
Yeah, they
I
even
liked
made it up
Eek.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Power Rangers obviously was like doing so well, making so much money. The actors on the show getting screwed, but yeah, live performers we don't know. There might have been a union. They might have gotten okay pay, is what I'm saying.
Maybe to
Yeah.
be part of this touring entity. That might lead into something I was going to bring up, Mike, which is the impetus for doing a tour was that on President's Day in 1994, there was an event held at the Universal Amphitheater here in LA. That was done in conjunction with the DARE program, which was this initiative in the 90s to get a bunch of black shirts to a bunch of kids and for them to end up at Goodwill's, ironically, decades down the line. Very successful in that, maybe not in anything else. So working with the DARE program, the Power Rangers did a live event. And the idea here was that this was going to be just a Universal Studios thing, and they were going to do it in one of the theaters they have in the park, maybe in the Conan the Barbarian stage or something. Then they got wind of how many people were interested in seeing the Power Rangers, and it it was just going to be like, I don't know, we'll do a little thing in the afternoon, right? So many people were coming. They had to upgrade it to the Universal Amphitheater, which holds 6,000 people.
The Gibson?
And it became the Gibson Amphitheater.
Yeah, right, okay.
It became, 6,000 people it holds. They had to do 6 shows, ultimately. 36,000 people came, which is one of the top days in the history of Universal Studios.
36,000.
36,000
God.
people showed up on one day, which caused the freeways to back up, and which brings me into the clip that I labeled "Freeways." This is a little like, in order to start getting the word out about the Power Rangers tour. Like, well, you're going to have to book this in your mega venue, because look what happened when we barely even announced it in LA, and then it caused pandemonium throughout the city.
Power Ranger gridlock in the northbound Hollywood freeway.
It was a monstrous mess of traffic. Their power is so great, their mere presence backed up freeway traffic 10 miles.
So widen your freeways and prepare your town for the live event of the decade.
Widen your freeways.
Widen your freeways.
Change
That's
your
why all that
zoning
construction was in
laws.
Cleveland during that time. They were widening the freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to.
Ready. Yeah.
got it.
Hurry.
Makes sense
Cancel
now.
everything else. Cancel funding across the city. All all other programs canceled.
That Universal Hollywood event happens with the original cast, and then by the time the live show goes on tour, then the new cast and a new cast of Zords has taken over.
Oh, that changeover happened after.
Yeah,
okay, wow.
That changeover. I mean, so all the Power Rangers listeners, if you don't know this, all the Power Rangers stuff is reused footage and costumes from a Japanese series called Super Sentai, is kind of the umbrella name for it. So they would film seasons of that and then eventually send the costumes to the American productions where they would write new stories and then film the actors, without the helmets on and stuff.
Yeah, so it would be a mix. And you could tell as a kid that it was a mix.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go, well, this footage looks older than this other footage.
Yeah, some of what they show in the show seems ancient.
Yeah, when they're fighting outside, the footage looks 10 years older than when they're in the school.
It's like Faulty Towers. Like Basil Faulty leaves and then goes to like much darker footage, shot way different than how it looks inside.
Yeah. So yeah, they were like, there was all this cost saving things they were doing for the show,
but not for the tour. They, based on what happened, this early Carmageddon that shut down all of Los Angeles. They knew that they had gold on their hands, as well as Goldar on their hands. So when they were going to start this tour, they knew like they had a lot of money to spend. Wait, I have the number somewhere. I think. Let's see. The guy who pitched his take on it was told by Saban, "You've got $3 million to mount the show and a $10 million budget to take it on the road." I don't know what things cost, but that seems high to me. And they also just loaded this thing up with a bunch of people who mainly did concert tours. People like rock and roll impresario Ricky Farr. Did you come across that name?
I saw.
I just like the sound of it. Rock and roll impresario Ricky Farr.
Yeah, well, impresario is a great word. So.
Yeah. But it was him and a bunch of people who mainly before this did like Rod Stewart tours. And there's a lot of, I found a couple articles where they're framing it in light of like, I mean, what would Rod think of this? And how do you get Rod level production values to the Power Rangers? And they would say, well, we measure it against, well, if Rod would like it, then it'd be good enough for just a really strange juxtaposition. And then also a guy, there was a promoter who put the thing together. His name was Marcel Avram. And this is a photo I have, Brett, loaded up. I'll describe it for people who are just listening. But if you could pull up Marcel Avram, just who the level of Titan we're dealing with putting the show together. That's Marcel on the far right with the beard. He looks like a Brett Gelman character. And he is standing, he's in like a big hand huddle with bad era Michael Jackson, who is between a very tan Siegfried and Roy, who are both wearing cowboy hats.
Wow, look at those outfits.
Yes, yeah. Some very bold, some very experimental cowboy uniforms. As well as, I believe that guy's name is Frank Grillo, Michael Jackson's manager for a long time, who's in Goodfellas. He acts in Goodfellas.
I was going to say, why is Paulie Walnuts there?
He's very much that, and he's in Wayne's World. He's like the music guy in the limo who they have to impress. Yeah, what a weird guy who was in Michael Jackson orbit. But anyway, Marcel Avram and that guy not only put concerts together with Michael Jackson, but also sued Michael Jackson several times, once for $5.3 million he sued him for millions of dollars. And then they settled, and then he tried it again. I don't know. Let's try working with Michael again. And he just didn't show up. These people, this is who we're dealing with, who we're putting on. What I'm getting at is this is more than just people are doing a couple kicks on stage. This is concert level. This is big pyro bursts throughout and trying to keep a Rod Stewart pedigree.
Those are heavy hitters in the business. And you see it on stage, I think, especially, we'll get to the finale, but the finale is very impressive.
Oh my God.
It's very, very cool. Versus like Turtles, where Turtles feels like that show was on a budget. Like the set was like, okay, there weren't that many dancers. And then there wasn't much fighting. They replaced the fighting with songs.
Yes, yeah. They just like incidentally, we have to represent the idea of fighting. We have to kind of like
Yeah.
move around slightly to suggest what fighting might be like. This is much more of a full-on fighting show.
Stunt show. Yeah. So thank
It
you.
is
I
impressive.
remember I was very disappointed going to it because I expected the actual actors would be there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I expected like Tommy was going to show up and like take off his mask, a helmet, and be like, "Hey guys, like I'm Tommy. Good to be in Cleveland, Ohio." Like that didn't happen, obviously. But I will say, watching it back now, like it goes so far outside of the normal Power Rangers script. Because the normal Power Rangers setup, obviously, every single Power Rangers episode, you watch any single one now as an adult, you can kind of catch on. It's Power Rangers show up, they do some stuff, they make a bad guy shows up, Power Rangers fight the bad guy in little form, they start beating the bad guy in little form, they make him grow, he grows up, they get the Zords, they beat him with the Zords, end of show. Literally every single show that happens. Watching it back now and watching the live stage show, they don't do that at all.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Zords fight the little guy, the little Lumator monster, and like the Lumator monster beats the Zords by himself in little form.
Yes.
And then the Power Rangers like, oh, we got to fight him. It's very wild. And I will say, I also was very taken aback by the random magic. They decided to kind of have a magic show as well.
Yeah.
A lot of magic.
I don't know why they had magic for some crazy reason. They were like, we got to make the show entertaining. Let's add some magic and turn the Power Rangers into birds for a random reason.
Yeah.
Or monkeys or birds or.
I don't believe they say the phrase parrot rangers. But it seems like it was right there.
Yeah, I
you
know,
know,
right?
there.
They blew it. They blew it.
Here, I have a clip just of the show to give people a little taste, audio and video of what, and a clip of there in here. There's some magic. This we can cut this off at any time, but this is Brett, clip 8, please. This is like Zedd, Lord Zedd. So Lord Zedd is one of my favorite characters in fiction. Also, he's so fun. He's so cool looking. We've talked about Ivan Ooze a lot. We love Ivan Ooze. Johnny, I don't know. Are you an Ivan Ooze fan?
I like
as well?
Ivan Ooze. Yeah, I like Ivan Ooze. I'm a big Power Rangers movie guy.
Are you more Zedd or Ivan?
I think Zedd. I'm more Zedd, I think.
Yeah,
I have a
okay.
Zedd helmet back there.
Oh
Has a
yeah, I've
voice
seen
changer
that.
on it and
Yeah,
everything.
I've seen
it's
that.
fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Zedd was scared. Scott, Zedd came in on the second season. And when I say second season, I mean there were dozens and dozens of episodes. And then Zedd showed up. But they kind of, Power Rangers for a little while would air every weekday.
Wow.
Like new episodes.
Yes.
Eventually shifted to kind of like,
And he
a
was-
new one once or twice a week. And,
He was married to Rita.
yeah, so
Who was the original villain? And I like
Yeah.
Rita too, by the way. I'm not trying to put
But it
Rita
seems like
down.
Rita became kind of a joke in the face of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was always kind of like shticky, but then like Zedd shows up and like, oh, he's a bad guy. He deposed Rita Repulsa. Eventually she concocts a love potion and forces them to get married to each other.
As you do, yes.
As
but
one does.
they treat her like shit in this
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
They're
I was
so
I was
mean.
kind of uncomfortable by how
Yes.
bad they treated Rita
Yes.
in this live show.
I
was like,
agree.
wow, is this really?
They're
I don't
so
remember
mean
that.
to her, and she has an annoying voice. That's part of the
another.
character.
Yes, that was in there too. I couldn't stand her voice. Yeah.
But they're mean to her in this clip. So you're going to get in this clip. You're going to get some of Lord Zedd's plan. You're going to see why I think he's one of my favorite characters in fiction. You're going to see them being mean to Rita, and then you're going to get a little magic as well. So whenever you're ready,
It's all here.
yeah.
I plan to do away with the Rangers and capture this entire city in one fell swoop.
Oh, yeah, right. I've heard that before.
Please cover this witch. I
So
grow
mean.
tired at the sight of her.
They dated before this?
Yeah.
On and off.
Yeah, their putties are taking Rita away now.
They weren't exclusive.
And they're doing just a straight up David Copperfield like magic trick, putting her behind a curtain.
City in order to draw the Rangers away from their home and away from
So then she's like doing the trick where she disappears basically.
monster and unleash him upon this town. Then, as the Power Rangers come to fight my creation, Goldar will ambush and capture them 2 at a time and bring them here.
So
What will we do with them, Miley?
I mean, a great voice.
I haven't decided yet.
There's a very complicated plan, by the way. 2 at a time. We're going to take the Rangers, and then when they're going to come to the arena,
Yeah,
and then
why
here's
not
the
hit
part
'em
with the
all?
magic.
Here comes the magic.
The sheet
So-
is lifting into the air.
Yeah, you can stop the clip whenever. It's not that impressive of a magic trick. I'll say this. It
How
takes
does
Rita.
how does this play out?
So it takes Rita is behind the curtain, and they're trying to act like they've like put her in there, and she's now ascending somehow. But like there's like a minute or two where she's clearly just like crawling out a hole or something. There's like, it wasn't like an instantaneous thing where you see that trick sometimes. But it is obviously the setup to some sort of a disappearing act trick. And yeah, they were using those little things.
Like, does she comes out, then she's replaced by a smaller.
Oh yeah,
Rita?
so yeah, when when the clip keeps going. Sorry, I cut it off, but she turns into like a small version, and they put her in a little like box. And yeah, that's one of the many mean things they do to her in the show. She comes back to, and she's so by the way, she's got a purple outfit, which was not her normal outfit, if I'm not mistaken. She usually had like was it a gray or a brown outfit? I think it was brown.
I think it was kind of
brownish,
brown. Yeah. It could have been purple, and it was just so desaturated. The
it's
footage.
also possible the VHS footage was
it wasn't kept up the finest.
I love going online, but I hate that big tech companies can see what I'm looking at. I hate it so much, I wish I could light the companies on fire. Which just so happens to be the power set of Sebastian Jackal, Christopher Lloyd's character from UPN's Deadly Games. Coming up on the second gate, we take a look at Sebastian Jackal, who he is, why he hates Dr. Gus Lloyd, and I bet we'll have some laughs along the way. So head to patreon.com/podcasttheride. That's, patreon.com/PODCASTTHERIDE. This is not an internet security product. It's an episode about Sebastian Jackal, Christopher Lloyd's character from UPN's Deadly Games. Once again, that's patreon.com/podcasttheride for all your Sebastian Jackal needs.
On the topic of Rita, can I ask for one of my clips? And the clip is called "Hey Rita." Is anyone?
I have this clip too, Scott, but you go ahead because I am very excited.
Wait, really?
100% I have.
Wait,
Hey Rita.
well, say anything you want to say.
No.
How did you come across "Hey Rita"?
Okay, so we were talking about turtles, and I was saying when I was watching this, I was like, man, it would be fun if they had original songs. And I was like, they don't have original songs in this too. But I go, I wonder if here we go. I wonder if the Power Rangers did have original songs. So you look it up, and there is I'm sure as you discovered, a full Power Rangers music album. Some songs used on the show, some not. Written by this guy, Ron Wasserman, who wrote the theme song to Power Rangers, also co-wrote X-Men theme. This is a legendary guy.
A genius.
Hot in Cleveland theme. Mummy's Alive theme. This is a guy who's done, look at his IMDb. It's very impressive. So yes.
It seems like he believed that kids could, I think like a lot of kids composers held back and were softer.
Yes.
And he was the guy saying, no, kids can handle metal. They can handle ultra fast drums. And that's what he brought into the theme song, which, by the way, he was brought into Saban, told, we need it by tomorrow, and it's got to have the word go in it. Thus, he comes back the next morning, go Power Rangers.
Wow.
Yep. They give him a very clear assignment. Hey, tell you what, I'll give you two goes for the price of one. I've been obsessed with Hey Rita since high school because I found a cassette at the 99-cent store of a Power Rangers album. This seems silly. Most of it kind of dreck, who cares?
Yeah.
But this song has something special, and the challenge I issue to anyone who hasn't heard Hey Rita is to try to make out a single lyric of Hey Rita.
Okay, so that'll be for Jason and Johnny to hear.
Okay. Yeah, see,
because I know the lyrics already.
Anything.
I don't remember this at all. So.
Okay. Let's hear Hey Rita.
All right, I caught girl
It has nothing
a few
to do
times.
with Rita at all.
Yeah.
I think I heard something about
the wickedest Chiquita.
Yes, that is in there. Yes.
Is that what is the wickedest Chiquita?
I think I looked up the lyrics are online.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, I just like because I've always thought I heard the word taquito, perhaps tequila.
No, I don't think tequila's in there.
Would you like some
Senorita?
tequila?
Yeah. Well, it's saying it for. Do you want me to read it?
I guess so. Reveal the mystery.
So here's
dig the seed and grow girl.
No, incorrect. No? Incorrect. Dig the scenic road girl.
Well, that makes no sense.
And then this.
Dig the scenic road.
Although, you know what? I don't think the people who wrote these down know exactly either, because the next line they wrote, whack the something girl. So they don't actually know either.
No, that one I do know. That's whack the weed, but then I don't know. I've always heard whack the weed won't grow girl.
What does that have to do with anything?
This is not officially produced by Ron Wasserman. They're guessing as well as we are.
Yeah, they're guessing as well.
What's that big litany of tequila burrito?
Here's what this says. This is saying, and it might be guessing, hey, Rita, senorita, the wickedest Chiquita, where did you come from, Rita?
Johnny got that.
Hey, Rita, treat a cheater?
Treat? Maybe like,
I don't know.
Is that a euphemism for kill?
Maybe.
If you see a cheater.
I'm not sure. What are you up to, Rita? Oh, Rita, won't you be there? Get off my lander, Rita?
I've always heard,
Rita.
In my head, that's always been get off my Lambrigida. Like, as if they needed a rhyme so bad that they had to tilt the name Lamborghini into Lambrigida.
I think that's better. I think that's better than some of the actual lyrics Mike is reading.
Some of those are stretches and very dull phrases.
We should get Wasserman on here.
I would love to. Yeah. Let's get the official word from him.
There's a weird spoken word point later in the song, too.
Do you have that? Do you want to pull up a separate clip?
I think, maybe I should.
Or we just describe it, because there's the...
I can just do... It's It's kind of like a bridge.
The Power Rangers. Yeah, I thought about leaving that in, too. Yes,
it's like the Power Rangers you could not defeat. So Lord Zedd, he put on the heat. He shrank you down, put you in a trash can, and now you're floating around space, yelling at him.
I'm so glad
that's more, by the way, the character at least.
Yeah, that's more context to what actually happened.
It kind of happens in the show.
Or whacking weeds.
The weed, yeah. Wouldn't she whacking weeds? She's not doing gardening work.
There's no Lambrigida.
She has putties to do that for her.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I, at 16, was as delighted by Hey Rita as you were finding it out just several days ago.
Yes.
It's magic, isn't it? The rest I wouldn't recommend the album, but that Hey Rita, ooh. Arutila Tequila.
Are there on that album is also the Green Ranger song, which they did use in the show, like just
that's
go Green Ranger. Yeah, so
that's a good song.
So I think you should find that album and listen to it, Johnny.
It's good
because it's got.
Good. I've heard there's a couple. I feel like there's a couple bangers on that album.
Yeah.
I for some reason I totally is aloof to Hey Rita. I probably fast forwarded it onto my cassette tape when I was little, but there's a couple things now that I appreciate more as an adult.
Sure.
Wordsmithery, really.
Yes.
Yeah, but no, they did not put. Wasserman should have been hired to write original songs for the show as well. That would have made it the ultimate version of this.
Well, you got in there, and I not to jump around, but I feel like it's not a show necessarily. We have to explain the plot in glorious detail. But there's that one song that is it feels original to this, unless it was in the show. But it is a song. I don't know if you have the clip of it, but it's the kind of Kraftwerkian, like dink donk donk donk, and the only lyrics repeated just in a round, in a hypnotic round, are silly putty building silly monster, silly putty. I liked that song a lot.
That's not on the album. I don't think
it's in. I don't. Well, maybe I'm not sure.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't have the clip, sadly.
But that's when the putties are. This is one of the most impressive things in the show. That song covers the space where the putties are all putting together a big clanky robot monster, which does not exist. But then, there's nothing there, and then they put a bunch of cans together, and then it is just walking around. Like somebody slips in there during the building process, and then it gets chopped apart again by the Rangers.
Yeah.
Before your eye. That's pretty cool. I don't know exactly how they did that.
I saw that monster called the Hollow Monster.
Whoa.
And the other, that was an original character for the stage show, and Lumator, the fire lion.
Johnny, do you remember? Was it Lumator or Lumator?
I think it's Lumator. I think Lumator. I wasn't sure either, because some people online say Lumator.
It sounds like
I thought it was Lumator, so I don't even know what it is.
I thought it was Lumator.
It
sounds
online
like
it says
Lumator, but I don't know if it's Lumator.
I have a clip of that. We can see what Zedd is saying to make sure.
it sounds like there's no N in it when people say it, but all the Power
They say
Rangers
Lumator.
wiki say it has an M in it.
It does sound like
or an N.
medicine you take for high blood pressure or something.
Yeah.
for high cholesterol.
Ask your doctor if Lumator is right for you.
Lumator, but he's original. Oh yeah, let's do real quick. Let's just get Lord Zedd yelling real quick. Clip 10, please. Yeah. So Zedd will be yelling his name here, and he's like, he makes it sound so much like makes it sound so impressive that this is this new character. And I like Lumator. I like the look of him a lot. He looks cool, but I don't think he looks as scary as Goldar or Lord Zedd. The thing also, if I'm thinking back to my childhood, I was really upset that they would make Goldar a little bit of a buffoon. Because initially he was, do you remember, am I crazy here? Initially he was so scary because he's like one of the, I think the first monster
He's the
they
first
fight.
monster, yeah.
And I was so freaked out by him. But then he kind of falls into the what's the character? Babu and what's the other? Squat, thank you. They were like comedic characters and he sort of fell into that. So I wanted to return to the fearsome Goldar. But anyway, here's the clip where Zedd introduces and we'll see if we can figure out exactly if that N is there or not. So Rita is now back out of a different, like a magic trick box.
Quiet, you blabbering witch!
So mean!
For my new monster!
Don't be.
He is a creature of Earth, a terrible power linked with a terrible appetite for destruction. He is Lumator!
No N.
No N!
That's Lumator.
He's a big motor scooter, isn't he?
Isn't he magnificent? A mere touch from him can
I mean, I guess he is scary. But he's kind of cute. He's cuter than the other characters. So yeah, you can stop playing. Do you think he's scary, Lumator? What do we think?
He's got an eye patch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's good. He had to get in some kind of a scrap for that to happen.
No, he didn't. He could have fallen over in his apartment.
Just see a poked a corner of a
Of a coffee table. Yeah.
Lumator is stripped on the rug.
No
I like how
feng
they
shui
played the
in
flag real
Lumator's
quick
apartment.
of talking about how Lumator can't handle water. I think they handle that immediately. Like I think my Babu or Squat brings up like, man, it's hot in here. I'm thirsty. Get me some water.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately he's like, no water. I can't have water. Like immediately. So I'm like, okay, so that's how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
Then of course, we're gonna have all the kids chant more rain for
Yeah.
like 2 minutes straight.
Really like a design flaw because these characters were molded out of clay by, is it Finster is the character? Who I was a big fan of. He's got fun ears and he's like, he never fights, which I always kind of wanted him to fight.
Is he like a monster, a sorcerer, a scientist?
What would you say
Kind of a
he
little bit
is?
of all of it.
He's a
A
monster.
little bit of everything.
He's a monster.
little bit of
He's
everything.
Not in the show though, but like that's a design. Like he's designing the characters out of clay. He's sort of playing God. Let's be honest.
He made great little clay monsters as well. So much so, I was so believable that I could do the same as Finster. I remember me and my mom went to like Pac-Catans when I was little, and I got clay, and my mom bought me a bunch of clay, not Play-Doh, just straight up clay. And I tried to like recreate monsters from the show and put them in the microwave to get them to come to life.
Oh wow!
Obviously, spoiler alert, they did not come to life, and we had to buy a new microwave. But still, at the end of the day.
Wow. So that was like your best thought. Like the microwave was the place you thought, oh, magic is made in. Because Finster doesn't put it in a microwave. He just kind of
was it like a
cast
little
spell.
conveyor belt oven
Yes.
sort of thing, right?
Okay, right. So you just were like, you have to cook it in a monster.
Yeah, you cook them. They bake for a while. They're like babies. They like just bake in there for a little bit, and then they come out and they're done.
A monkey announces them. And then,
It's also it's also funny to think though that your child brain was like, what I'm going to do right now is unleash a monster in the house. I have sculpted a monster and I'm about to unleash it in here. I guess you
To be fair, it wasn't a very good looking monster, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was probably a stick figure monster or like a little armed legs.
Yeah,
face monster.
I guess if you created though, then you could be the one to like tell the monster what to do. So I guess it maybe it wouldn't tear up the house.
Yeah, you might not be creating a monster. You might be
I essentially
making...
did that now with like a human. So basically, I'm just living in real life now with a baby.
Yeah.
I have a baby to live my monster life.
You didn't make a monster. You made a new best friend.
Yeah.
That's true. So yeah, Lumator is original character here. who I like. Again, I know people are probably thinking I'm putting him down, and I don't want to put Lumator down. I like him.
But
I just
expect
think
when somebody's created new for like it has to, as with Ivan Ooze, it has to reset the bar.
yes, Ivan Ooze reset the bar, villain bar, for me, and this one is like this is fun, but this is I would see Lumator on like a regular show, and I feel like they could have Rod Stewart's guy could have gone bigger and forced them to get a more impressive, scarier villain.
Were the aliens also original too, or were they on the show? I don't remember this at all.
Those first, yeah. So the show opens with these aliens kind of like exhuming or finding Lord Zedd's temple. I don't know what you would say.
They're just fans. They're fans of Lord Zedd.
There's
They're
a
big Lord Zedd
UFO
fans.
that
like me,
land.
like I am.
They want to observe him and like discover how to be as evil as him.
A bunch of Lord Zedd's stands have crossed a boundary. They will not leave him alone to give him his privacy.
I didn't see for sure, but I think they are original. I'm not sure.
I think so.
I think they
and
are
then
for
they
the show,
kind
I
of
feel like they did nothing. I
They
feel like
don't
they
pay
added
off.
nothing to this show.
No,
at all.
Don't need to be there.
They're not
Time
even
killing.
Yeah, not even like a Greek chorus, or they don't even add any commentary, or they're not like Statler and Waldorf. They don't do anything fun.
Nope.
So yeah, and
Is it to explain? Is there like they have to do some plot mechanics of why all of this is happening in your town, which in your case was Cleveland, but unnamed. They just said your town. This
Yes, of
town.
course, yes.
Instead of Angel Grove, the typical home of the past. Is that why a UFO crash lands, which unleashes? Again, I'm a little lost. I don't know, but like typically, it's all happening because all these people hang out in Angel Grove.
Angel Grove,
Why?
a town that is mostly like barren cliffs and large open green fields. That's
true.
90% of Angel Grove.
If they built more housing developments, there'd be no room for anybody to fight.
Yeah.
It's like, start building up the suburbs, and then these monsters have to leave.
There's some explanation in one of them, and it might have been the press event. I can't remember because it's all a blur. But one of the things I watched, they throw in a line like, "And our plan is to bring the Power Rangers here from Angel Grove." So like they've built in the idea that like they're not going to be in their home base or something. We're like luring them to your town to and then I said in the first clip like, capture them 2 at a time and put them in the cage, and then the other 2 will come, and then.
But then I felt like 99% of the show took place in Lord Zedd's like
lair,
temple sort of thing.
Yeah,
so, like,
his big dirty cave.
His big would you say it's a
his
nasty
big nasty cave?
Nasty, reeking of gherkin pickles. cave.
Reeking of gherkins, and the audience needs to chant like, "Clean the cave."
I will not clean the cave.
I didn't. Johnny, you were saying you were so scared of being pulled on stage.
Yeah.
I feel like my childhood anxiety was raised whenever they're like, "Help us chant, we need your help," and I was like, I don't want this responsibility. I just want to watch a show.
Watching the YouTube clip though, kids were like fully invested, and it looked like none of the kids had adults either. It looked like watching the YouTube clip, there were just children everywhere. I never saw like maybe I saw like one adult, but it was just lines of kids just going crazy and losing their minds.
And I
was never that kid. I was never like, I would maybe be like, more rain, more rain, more rain, or like, don't look at me, more rain. Like, I also didn't want. I was horrified. I'd be chanting like, "We need rain" or something like that, and Lord Zedd would be like, "Hey, you! I see you chanting down there. I'm gonna come and kill you." So I didn't want to be like caught. And this is like, this went not just for Power Rangers Live, for like every stage show I saw. Maybe not Sesame Street Live, because I got like a Big Bird feather, and that I still have to this day that I'm very proud of. But like, I saw Sinbad on stage, and I was like, I don't want Sinbad to call me out. I saw David Copperfield. I was like, I don't want to be a part of a trick. Double Dare Live. I was like, I don't want to do this. It's too much responsibility. I was in the front row of Monday Night Raw, and I was afraid that Kane was gonna like. There's like a very famous clip of me at like a Monday Night Raw from like 1998 or 1997, and Kane is like ringing the bell 10 times because he killed the Undertaker. And he goes and he grabs the timekeeper and he beats him up, and he sees like a fan standing in the front row, and he grabs him and he pulls him over the guardrail and starts beating him up. And the camera like pans over, and you just see little chubby Johnny Gargano like sitting there in the front row, like like horrified that Kane is gonna come over and murder me.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, if you had a camera in my childhood home, I would have also had the same reaction just watching the TV for some of the demon stuff, some of the satanic stuff.
You know what's funny is I think you were talking to three guys who have probably had a similar feeling in the audience of all these shows. I'm remembering now, funny enough, the first time I had that in my adult, or one of the first times I had this in my adult years, is you used to wrestle in Reseda and PWG, which I would go to. And this, the first time I ever went, the action would spill out because it was a very tall, a small building. And I was having the same sort of panic initially. Now, eventually you get used to just like standing up and moving when people are fighting. But I remember going, oh, like I'm part of this. And I didn't realize I was part of this. So it like the old feelings of it came back.
Especially back in Reseda, that was like the wild, wild west where like there is no guardrails and everyone's like as close to the ring as you could possibly get. So I don't know how many times like there'd be random celebrities just sitting in the crowd.
Yes.
Where like you do like a dive and you land on like
Sofia
like
Vergara.
little Dwight from The Office, something like that. Like, it'd be wild. It was wild.
Yes, but it was that same thing of like, oh, we're actually, because this building was so small, we're all part of the show. So we all have to move, and we're all like, anything can happen at this point.
Well, I say all the time too that those shows I used to do in Reseda probably took years off, not just my career but my life, given how hot that building used to be.
Yes.
Like it was like 99 degrees, and imagine like having to wrestle for like 30 minutes in front of just the craziest heat you could imagine. It was wild times. Very, very wild times.
We all have been to Reseda, and it was never a nice climate in there. It was not. It was never like, oh, it feels great in here in this Legion Hall. Wow. But rest in peace, Legion Hall has been torn down. But this is still. I do feel like if you're in front row anywhere, I'm like, okay, I don't need to. No, thank you.
Right.
But
I'm still that way now as an adult. Like, and I do like stuff on stage and I do stuff on television, but I'm still like, if I'm not in my element, I'm like, oh, please don't pick on me. Like if I went to like Turtle Talk with Crush, I'm like, please don't pick on me. Or writing like Star Tours. I'm like, I don't want to, please don't put me on the screen. I don't want to be seen, please.
You know, real quick, I'm remembering now when Candice was on, she said that something about the ride Living with the Land.
Oh, boy.
And she expressed that maybe this was not your favorite ride.
Me and Candice have very not similar tastes when it comes to classic Disney attractions.
Right.
I have very strong opinions. I think I share the same opinions as Matt Cardona on a lot of we should plus him up.
Yeah, he's very brutal of just like out. That one's out. Well, look, I don't want to get you in any trouble, but I wouldn't mind you taking a little bit of heat off of me because I think there's some listeners I never got back after I said I didn't like Living with the Land.
Scott is the most anti-Living with the Land, yes, and there were listeners who were very upset with him.
Oh, I still see it. It dogs me to this day. I'm a heel of Podcast The Ride because I was like, I don't know. I don't think seeing the plants is that interesting.
Candice is on me all the time because number one, like Hall of Presidents, like not Mr. Lincoln, like I'm out on like any things where I have to learn while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
There's like any things where I'm like, I got to learn about this. I am 100% not invested in
American Adventure. My wife just really snapped on American, just like how many more people are we meeting today? How many more historical figures?
Yeah, and you were just like, wait 1 minute. Will Rogers about to show up, and he's going to make you laugh.
He's got a lasso.
He's got a lasso.
You have to. You got to say what you think about Living with the Land. You help me out here. I have an ally finally.
Yeah. I mean, get rid of it. I'm not one of those like attraction people where I'm like, we got to preserve the aura of like, no, like add an overlay to it, add some like plus it up, add like something I care about to the attraction. Again, is a hot take on a lot of things, but I'm very much so we need to update things as they go. Like I'm sure the new Guardians ride is going to be my new favorite ride. Like Rise of the Resistance is my top ride. Like I'm very much so a new technology person, as opposed to a
exciting thing shows up. You enjoy it. Wait, let me say this. Because when it comes up, all I'm saying, there was a point in time where that ride had a song and somebody in the boat talked to you, and now these things are gone, and we're like, yes, good. Keep there being no song in it. That's my point. If nothing else, put the song back. Like, I don't understand why it has to to be preserved in a decaying state, in a like lesser state than it was.
Well,
That's
lack
all I'm
of
saying, folks. This is all I'm trying to say.
No, Scott, not here.
The lack of guide is definitely a cost-cutting measure, for sure.
Yeah. So we shouldn't be celebrating that.
No,
Hooray! I
think-
love that there's no guide anymore.
Me and Candice get into arguments all the time. Not arguments, but heated discussions all the time. I have a very strong opinion on the "It's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow" ride.
Here we go. What do you got?
I say this as someone who experienced the ride, maybe in a way it shouldn't have been experienced. Everyone knows, obviously, it circles around and things like that, and they go to each scene, and it takes about 5 minutes per era that we're in. So at one point, me and Candice rode this ride, and this might be before I hated this ride. And maybe I say this is the catalyst. This is my Joker story for why I don't like this ride. So we get about 15 minutes in, and Candice remembers this experience way differently than I do. But we get about 15 minutes in. We watch because it's about a 20-minute ride. We get to the third act of this scene. Whatever era that is.
They're in the 40s, maybe.
Might be the 40s, whatever it is at this point. So it plays. It starts to turn to go to like the last one, but it stops and the ride freezes because maybe someone stood up. We're not sure about this. And then it goes back and it goes back and it goes back. And the ride starts all over again. So you got to sit there for another 15 minutes. And it just happens again. And you're just sitting there like, we got to go through this thing all over again. So they restart the ride. Wow. So we're about I'd say 35 minutes in at this point of the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, I'm done. Like, I've never been on this ride.
It's a great big over 35 minutes.
Every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're describing Jason's dream,
Well,
honestly.
look, progress isn't always smooth, folks. All right. And hey, Johnny, you're a new father. You're going to be thanking your lucky stars for that run. A nice, cool 20, 25-minute nap. You know?
So it's funny you mentioned that because
Lying about it.
she just came.
Candice is here.
Candice cameo.
The dog's losing his mind now. It's funny you mentioned that because the very first ride we took our son Quill on was the Wheel of Progress. Like it was
Carousel Progress.
Carousel Progress, whatever the heck it's. I don't want to even call it by its right name because I don't have that much respect.
I like it. Wheel. I'm gonna start calling it
Wheel
that
of Progress. This is basically a wheel because it felt like it kept going over and over again.
Sure, it's for you.
So we took him on the Carousel Progress, and I take great pride in the fact that being his father, he started losing his mind about 15 minutes in, and he starts crying, and Candice is trying to feed him, but he starts crying and crying and crying, and I'm sitting there very proud, and afterwards I'm like, see, he didn't like it. That was his first ride. He did not like it at all.
It could not hold a less than 1-year-old's attention for more than 15 minutes. Almost everything holds a 1-year-old for 15 minutes.
And then he went on Space Mountain and he loved it.
You held him up like Rafiki the whole way.
Yeah, of course.
What is the oldest, is there any old kind of ride that you do like Haunted Mansion, obviously,
a traditional.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
That's close.
Haunted Mansion, love Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Like Space Mountain, OG Space Mountain, still love that.
Yeah.
But you know what we mean? Some of these boring Walt things. Do you like any boring Walt things?
Like what? Like what do you classify as
train? Like everything we've listed.
The train. Do you like the train?
No, I mean it's fine. It's just not. So we're obviously we go to Disney World more than we go to Disneyland.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though it might be a hot take that I do prefer Disneyland to Disney World. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Well, we like that take.
We agree with the take.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys. I just feel like it's easier to do everything in Disneyland in one day than it is the Disney World because there's just so much in Disney World and there's so many different parks and things like that.
Right.
And we got married there, so that's a whole other thing that I feel like I need to say that because if I don't, I'll be in trouble.
You got married there.
Yeah. No, that's not so controversial.
What about Epcot movie, 360 movies? You ever do the 360 movies you learn about Canada with Martin Short?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever done that for a good reason.
Well, maybe next time though.
Maybe you never know.
Maybe.
I mean, there's always like me and Candice. I don't know if she told you when she was on the podcast, but we got a chance to go to Walt's actual office when we were in California.
Whoa!
So we went and saw his actual office, and Candice started crying. So she obviously has a much deeper a connection to Walt and like all the history than I do, being from California and Disneyland and things like that. But I didn't start being, I wasn't a Disney person until I met Candice as well, because being from Cleveland, Ohio, all we had was like Jogga Lake and SeaWorld and Power Rangers Live. So I didn't do any Disney trips when I was younger.
Yeah, if you were in the office of Ron Wasserman, writer of the theme song, Hey Rita,
you would shed a tear there.
He wrote Hey Rita here.
Hey Rita. The wickedest senorita. The wickedest Rita.
What else can we hit about the show while we're, are there any, you got anything fun in the clip realm or Jason,
I have a clip.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So this is a moment later in the show, just to set it up. Alpha 5 has got the kids to chant to help the Power Rangers. And I think the big thing about this clip is it kind of shows the limitations of using some of the Power Rangers material. Brett, do you have that?
Huge arena.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is a shot of a field. Yeah, the Power Rangers are running towards camera. But
So far.
Now we can kind of see them. Just now. Oh, come on, guys. Hustle.
And then they burst through the screen. That's cool.
That's
that gets a
cool.
big response from the crowd. Okay, you can stop it. But just that footage of them running from so far away.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, oh man, a lot can happen when they were waiting for them to show up.
That clip also illustrated a thing that I like. This won't translate to the listener, but I like the way the physicality they bring to the fighting. They also bring just to the dialogue, because what the White Ranger was saying, they're like, all right, guys, we need a plan because Lord Zedd is on the attack and we are going to be in trouble if we don't. Like, it's the most gesticulated. It's all like, how many movements can I do on every syllable?
It's all pre-recorded audio. So they're like, they're gesticulating, to go along with the pre-recorded audio.
They don't have to, they don't have to be making the sounds from their lungs, so they can go ape shit with all that word punching.
Yeah. But that was towards the end of the show. A very funny moment towards the end of the show where they summon all their zords to fight Lumator.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're going to get into this. Yeah,
and then they are using the stock footage of the zords projected on a pretty standard 4x3 screen. And Lumator there's no on-stage zords. Lumator just fights next to
footage of the giant creature. Yeah.
It does give them a chance to use the kind of regularly used footage of the zords exploding and the Power Rangers getting tossed out of them, which always made me really anxious as a kid as well.
Yes. Do we have the clip of that or no?
I
don't have the clip.
I have a clip of the finale, in which you do get some massive action, which might be worth. But what is that? I think I called that more light. You were describing.
This is the only part. This is the only part that I remember.
Oh, okay.
This is the only part that I remember actually being there live, because I remember having one of the little reflective light things, and I remember the big inflatable Lord Zedd. For some reason, that's the only thing I remember. Maybe because I was horrified that he was gonna come out and kill me, and I didn't want him to see that I had this reflector thing that was murdering him. That's the only part I remember.
The other children all kind of break, but
I was originally
this one in particular.
I was a reasonably smart kid, but not smart enough to know it behooves companies to not murder the audience to make money. They should keep the audience alive to keep doing shows and making money.
Well, maybe I thought because I was dressed like the White Ranger, he would get confused that I was the White Ranger.
Yeah,
so he'd be like, I was
probably in a worse
asking
spot
for it, kind of.
Yeah.
I wasn't a civilian. I was a part of it.
You had enlisted.
I do have the official Power Ranger. I am an official Power Ranger. I have a certificate that says I'm official young Power Ranger that I signed up for. I think I was part of the fan club, and I got an official certificate that says I was a young Power Ranger. So I did officially enlist. I don't know what I signed up for, but
they deputize young children to also be in the Power Rangers.
Target on your back.
There's a funny. I do have a clip. We can play it after this. There's It is so funny because so much of it is like, we're teaching martial arts. There was a Tommy video that they released where Tommy taught children how to do martial arts.
Oh,
but there's about 10 minutes of like, do not do this. Do not fight children at school. Do not do that. It's only for discipline. That's what we're doing it for. I know, you know how you watch that show every week where people beat the shit out of each other? No, do not do that fun stuff. This is just to learn the art of this.
Yeah,
to be fair, when I was a kid, I had my parents sign me up for a karate class only so I could get the gi. I never went to a karate class. I only wanted the outfit. So they signed me up for a karate class to get the outfit so I can be at home and I watched the Tommy instructional video. So that's how I taught myself karate, is I didn't go to any of the real classes. I wanted to learn from Jason David Frank instead.
Of course.
Yeah. Power Rangers definitely led to an increase in karate class enrollment. But yes, it did also lead to recesses of like, what do you guys want to do this recess? Do you want to fight like Power Ranger? Yeah, let's do it. And just like the wimpiest little kicks at like the moment we saw authority. It's like scram, scray.
I know a Power Ranger fan, if like you see someone throw a kick and go, yeah, like they always had the sound effects.
Right.
In any kicks they threw.
That accompanied it, yes.
Oh, that's how you that's Ranger style. Turtle style.
That's what you learn. That's what you learn.
You say maybe you throw a cowabunga in there, but you aren't accompanying. You know what it led to for me was this is some of my other negative Power Rangers association was one time, only once, I was like walking up in the hills by this park, and then some kids came up to me, younger kids than me, littler.
Oh, wow.
I'm wearing sunglasses, which was enough for them to say, "Hey, you're Lord Zedd." And I said defensively, "No, I'm not." And they said, "Yeah, you're him." And I was like, "No." And I ran away from the littler children.
Oh, wow.
There was no threat. For all I knew, they could have liked that I was Lord Zedd. There was no violence. They didn't start kicking me. There weren't little kicks in my direction. But somehow that was scarring enough for me to remember still, and this held me back from being able to truly embrace what's on the screen right now.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah. I'm sorry that's what a dark memory. Being told I was Lord Zedd.
Sunglasses made you Lord Zedd.
I mean, he's got sort of
a visor.
Like
what kind of sunglasses were they? Were they like the old like the weird square ones?
Knowing me and my lack of style ever, they were probably abnormally large and aviator-like for a little child head.
Yeah, were they red and then they had like a metal mask under it also? Was that the sunglasses you were wearing with a little kind of spike coming up?
Yes, there was all those and that industrial gnarled metal that covered my mouth.
And it was that time in puberty when your muscles were exposed?
Oh yeah, where my
the flesh,
my skin got completely translucent and you could see everything inside me.
That's probably why.
So that was not a good Zedd memory for me. This is a new Zedd memory that I like, because for the listener, what we're looking at is they do, in a Rod Stewart-esque display of rock and roll spectacle, they create a big Lord Zedd. And how do they do it? By making a big inflatable figure, done kind of like King Kong, and initially was done at Universal Studios, where it's kind of like torso up. So that saves a little bit. They don't have to make all those legs. So it's just kind of chest up, and they puppeteer him kind of, I assume it's probably just like a dozen guys in black clothes back there just like shaking him around wildly. And it is cool. And this involves the kid participation in what Johnny said he recalls strongly from being there. So here's this.
I now surround you, and with it,
This is your favorite kid, by the way.
Yeah.
Little Bobby Budnick. Pyro.
All right, we need the extra power now.
It's time.
Yes.
Hold the reflectors.
Tommy's little...
Sabo?
Oh, yeah.
We need more light. More light. More light. More light.
More light. More light.
How good does that thing look? I do love that effect.
It's really cool,
shaking
yeah.
around. And then obviously he gets defeated, which is just him inflating. They just let the air out, and then he just flops down onto the stage and kind of ignore, hey kids, don't worry about all that loose skin
Yes.
The vast square footage of loose skin kicking around the stage.
Mm-hmm.
That does illustrate, though, one of the things I didn't like as a kid was like, why does only Tommy have his weapon? Like, he has his sword. Scott, shortly into the first season, all the Power Rangers each got a different weapon. And then when they were really in a pinch, they would combine their weapons to make a gun. Which is kind of weird to say in retrospect.
Like the guy who tried to attack Dave Chappelle. Real knife and fake gun combined.
Yeah. So that was a big deal for me as a kid. And the toy makers were kind of psyched too. Because eventually the next line of action figures had the weapons and the blasters. They also had blasters that kind of became nightsticks and then definitely became switchblades.
That's a good point. Yes.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I had the gun. The regular gun from the first seat where you like open it and it would turn into a blade. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you got on the front? I'm curious about. Do you have a clip from this martial arts?
Oh, I do.
Video
Yes.
From the Jason David.
Yes.
Oh, I love it.
I do have a clip. Let me look.
And Johnny, you did that. So you had this tape. This was your education in this area.
Yes. Yeah. This is what prepared me for professional wrestling, I think. It does. I didn't actually go training at a school for pro wrestling. I just did this. This is where I developed my skills from.
I hope this doesn't have like the answers to any of your weaknesses. Does this give your opponents potential?
It might. Yeah.
At like the Z spot. You don't have a Z spot, do you? Like buddies.
It's hidden though. It's harder to find. It's
not just right.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Not advertised.
Clip 7. This is when Tommy's giving some sort of he's telling you what not to do about with his martial arts training.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready. And it's a long video. It's like an hour long.
Oh yeah.
And here it is, all of it.
Yep. We're just gonna
Unless you can control your mind. Once you do this, your body will fall along.
Okay.
If you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what Tommy is talking about.
Alpha, please don't interrupt.
Sorry, Zordon.
Mean to Alpha for no
Now,
reason.
before we get started, here's a few rules.
Have a
about
couple
martial
drinks.
arts that I
Take
think
some
are
tequila
really
shots.
important. First, remember to practice martial arts either at home, in a large open area,
Okay.
away from lamps, furniture, the stuff that can break or hurt you, or in a karate school like this one.
Oh.
And always make sure there's an adult there when you're practicing, either your sensei or your mom and dad.
So I'll
this
bring
is
up
really important.
the point I'm making.
There's
One
one
second.
place you especially don't want to practice martial arts.
Dragon Sword!
No.
Hey guys, you know better than that.
Whoa, it's the Green Ranger!
Why don't you guys tell us why you shouldn't practice martial arts at school?
We don't know. We wanted to.
Right, someone could definitely get hurt. What else?
And you can get in trouble.
So make sure you two guys remember that, okay? All right?
Okay.
All right. Well.
So here's what's confusing about this clip if you know the show at all. He says, don't do this at school. He makes it very clear, do it in a karate space or a gym or whatever. That's the set of the school that he's in from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So he's pretending, he's gaslighting a bunch of kids saying, this is not the school you see on the TV every week. I just put a bunch of mats down in the cafeteria, but this is a karate school, not school. Don't fight in school.
I think my first question if the Green Ranger appeared in front of me would have been, hey man, can I see your giant flute knife? I really want to take a look at that flute/knife.
He has a flute. It's like an ocarina knife.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So he like kind of plays it like this. Do you have that, Johnny? Do you have that toy?
Yeah, I don't want to flex or anything, but
Okay.
I have a 24 karat gold version of it.
Oh my God. What? Wow.
Damn. Hold on.
Can you play it?
Yeah.
Is it playable?
The reveal that you're in shorts.
Okay, hold on. This is a San Diego Comic-Con
Wow.
exclusive.
Oh my God. It's dusty. It hasn't been
I did not get it from San Diego Comic-Con. I saw it on a documentary and I was like, wait a minute. They made a 24 karat gold dragon dagger? And Candice got it for me for Christmas from eBay. Because like I brought up, you can get anything anymore on eBay. But so this is a limited edition 24 karat gold.
Oh my
Whoa,
God.
That looks incredible.
Wow.
I know, right?
Clap for that. That's awesome.
I know.
But it's not play. Can you play it?
I think so. Yeah. Hold on.
You could do a concert with this?
Yeah. Hold on.
This is unbelievable.
Oh,
hold on.
Demonstration coming.
You got to hold down the so it's like you're blowing on it. Hold on.
New theme song.
Oh, is it working? Hold on.
Oh, sorry to put you on the spot here.
There we go.
Oh.
There it is.
Oh, it's the theme.
Oh,
It's a song.
Okay.
The famous. That's how you
That's the
summon
calling,
the
the
Dragon
Dragon Zord.
Zord.
Yeah. The little tune.
Oh my god.
Wow. That's awesome.
I think like you do things and it like
Sure.
hits
Yeah.
people.
It's also good for home
Yeah.
defense.
It is great. Yeah. So, a 24 karat gold dragon dagger exists.
That's
Wow.
that's wild.
Damn.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's an item. I'm impressed by that, and I didn't even grow up with this show.
I know, right?
Did you have would you have a favorite of all the toys back there? Power Rangers or not, or anything else?
So like I mean like I think like I said the 24 karat gold dragon dagger is probably my biggest flex.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
kinda like, you kind of threw a softball up for me.
Sure.
I
didn't
but
realize.
Like I am such a big Spider-Man the animated series fan,
Mhm.
so I have like the complete set collection of all the Spider-Man the animated series toys, like
The original or the new retro ones?
the original. Yeah, I have the
Oh,
retro,
wow.
the new retros as well, but the original, like the OG.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
Sets.
Yeah,
They're all up here. And like I said, like I'll pan the camera up, but I have like the Daily Bugle
Yeah,
play
yeah.
set. I have the
Through the
Tri Spider
Wow.
Slayer.
Wait, and all those,
I have,
I
like-
didn't see all those helmet, those life-size Ranger helmets
There's,
back
there's
there.
literally a Lord Zedd helmet right
There
there.
it is. Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are they
Terrifying.
I'm not asking you to do this, but are they wearable?
You want to see them?
Kind of.
It's up to you. Yeah, I can grab them.
If it's easy, only if it's easy.
It is easy.
Okay, if it's easy, yes, I do want to.
Now look, it's not just him, because I just went to a birthday party that you guys were at, and there was a present at the birthday party. Wait, here he's got it.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
let him
okay,
show
yeah.
it.
Let's-
Oh
you
my
go.
god!
Look at it.
There you go.
It's
the Lord Zedd
beautiful.
helmet. It just goes over my headphones. At least,
You can't.
but
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
like a. It has like a
I
voice
do want
modulator
this.
as well, to where you can talk like Lord Zedd.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Yeah, so you can.
Why didn't we
Oh,
do the whole
man.
episode that way?
I know. I should have just wore this the whole
Wow.
time for the podcast and talk like Lord Zedd. Lord Zedd.
If you had just popped up like that at the beginning, I mean,
I
we've
know.
all been Zooming
I
and Google Hangouting for years now, but that would have been the most terrifying thing of this entire pandemic run. Like, Lord Zedd has joined the chat.
Happy
that's
birthday!
true. It is true.
Happy birthday
no.
over Zoom.
I figured this is the first time we met, so I probably ease into the Lord Zedd showing up.
Yeah,
a bit.
that's fair.
Sure.
Next time,
What
yeah.
about a heart attack?
The next time I do the podcast, Lord Zedd will show
Lord
up.
Zedd reviewing Living with the Land.
Oh, that'd have been good.
This is
Yeah.
boring ride. No scientists. I couldn't even find the scientists. They were supposed to be in the lab.
What about cast members? Why don't they give the tour anymore?
These puny hydroponics do not impress me.
Yeah, so that'll be a good thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
What else should we hit about this live show? Do you have clips? Is there anything, or Johnny? Do you have any memories of this that we have missed? Is there something part of the spec? We hit the magic. We hit the pre-recordings of clips of Power Rangers running
That's the
very
gist,
slowly
I
through a
think.
meadow. But what any other memories of this fun childhood event?
I'm trying to think now. So like I said, like the I think it's kind of backtracking a bit, but one of the biggest letdowns to me was they did this big introduction, like the Zords are going to be coming. So they do like, oh, we're going to go get the Zords. And then like we talked about, like the Zords are just on the screen the whole time. Like they couldn't spring production for just to have like one
Yeah.
Zord show up and just kind of roll out. They have a big hollow monster, a big inflatable Lord Zedd. They couldn't have a big inflatable Megazord or anything like that. But I mean, that was my biggest letdown. Of,
They had two of
outside
them.
of the actual people not showing up, but
Sure. They had two inflatables maybe at the end. Because I
Yeah,
get
it'd
you
be
want to
great.
save that for the big finale. But yeah, then the Megazord came out and attacked. What is it called? I'm so embarrassed. What is it called when the Megazord and the Dragon Zord combine? Is there a name for it?
oh, I'm trying to remember now.
Is it
I
like
don't even
Ultra
remember now.
Dragon
Ultra Megazord?
Mega Dragon Zord or something maybe?
Oh, it might be Mega Dragon Zord.
And then-
There was different incarnations of it because they like
Right.
changed the names as things.
Yeah, it's
went
the
on.
White Tiger
They're like
Zord
White
at
Tiger
this
Zord.
point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a White Tiger Zord in this
Right.
instance. 'cause
And then
it's
it
the White
becomes
Ranger.
one of
Mega
my
White
I had
Tiger
that
Zord?
too. I had that toy too.
Yeah, but then his next one he gets is a giant falcon that the tips of the wings
Oh, right. I remember this.
are missiles. So like the falcon would like fold its wings and then it would just launch missiles. Like I thought that was the coolest thing as a kid.
That is good.
Wow.
I can't be mad at
So
that.
I wrote this down. I don't know about you guys, but the putties to me. So
Yeah.
watching it back, it really felt like the putties were going into business for themselves. Like at one point, the putties are just like doing like dances and like they kind of had a little bit of tumble monkey to them. from Lion King. They kind of had a little bit of like they do one of the most amazing things I've ever seen as well, where they were all sitting in like a row and they turn over where they're all on top of each other. But also thinking back, like the putties are like doing this very intricate dance number. They're like going into the crowd and like high-fiving kids and like being genuinely pretty cool to these children. And then like the children just still want to see them get killed. Like I'm very surprised the kids didn't kind of turn their backs on the Power Rangers and be like, well, the putties are so much more relatable for me now.
And they're like coming out and talking to us. Like they're
right there.
Close
they're
with
like one of us.
The Power Rangers are celebrities up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Yes, putties were having fun with the kids.
Yes.
And it does seem odd. It feels like, they were not maybe supposed to do that, but like they didn't want to be mean to kids. They wanted the kids to they were desperate for the kids' affection maybe. So they were like, goofing around more.
Like, I wonder if there was like an instance where like when the show first started, the putties were too scary. Yeah. And the kids were too like, oh, we don't like these putties. We're like, we got to make this way more silly than it needed to be. That's why they added the magic and they added the weird, the uncomfortableness with Rita. But
sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it would have been funny if the kids like silently protested the Rangers and they all turned their back to the Rangers during the middle of the show to say, we don't care for what you're doing.
No more light. No,
it was also interesting to me that like they made, spoiler alert for anyone that's going to watch this on YouTube. They took the yellow and black Ranger and kind of eliminated them for like a good portion of the show.
Yes.
And like you came to see these two and they got turned into a monkey and a bird. And you don't get to see them get their full action on until the very end.
And they have this like long dialogue and pre-recorded video of like, oh man, sucks. We're birds now. What are we going to do? Also creates some fun Zordon stuff of him saying, bad news. The Black Ranger and the Yellow Ranger are birds now. I like his, I like talking like Zordon. I feel like Zordon is kind of a like, you do Zordon, it's not just that you go deep, it's that it's kind of like a Kermit the Frog, but pitched down.
Good.
It's sort of, it's got that nasally thing to it. Hi-ho.
He's also sad.
Zordon here.
He's also sad. He also sounds very sad.
Yeah, pretty sad, Saki.
Yeah.
They didn't take me on tour. They wouldn't spring for me.
There should be
I had too many writers. I got greedy.
There should be a tour.
I feel like Bryan Cranston didn't do that at all.
No.
Bryan Cranston was just straight up Bryan Cranston when he played Zordon.
He wanted gravitas. There should be a Zordon toy.
I mean, Yellow Ranger.
There's a Zordon toy where you put your head in a tube and then it gives you Zordon voice.
That's good. That is good.
It makes you sad too.
It makes you
There's
sad.
A depressive agent. There's a depression gas.
I was having a good day today, and now I'm not.
Oh, jeez. People don't know what it's like having to live in a tube.
Poor Zordon.
It's not that easy being in a tube.
So you're a Zordon fan, maybe first and foremost.
Yeah. Because I like Cranston one, and yeah. That's the only voice that I embrace. It's the opposite of an I.
So you're Ooze, Zordon. Those are your top two guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I have an answer for who are my Power Rangers guys for sure. It is Zordon and Ooze. Which I was saying, we went to a birthday party where our friend Andrew and the party favor was a playing card. It was like a fun pack of playing cards that he hadn't opened, and so you didn't know what was going to be inside. And I feel like I hit the jackpot because not only did I get a pack of playing cards from Power Rangers the movie specifically, as opposed to the show, which were also in the packs. I don't know what you guys got, but my pack, I was just opening it like, please Ooze, give me Ivan Ooze, a character we did an episode about on the Patreon who I didn't care about or had seen before until we did that. One of my favorite things we found, and not one but two Oozes. Look at that. It's no, it's no
like
helmet,
Ivan Ooze rookie cards.
Yeah. It was when he was in his prime. He was never better than in 95, including the one that Jason, you remarked on as soon as I sent it. This is the prime card. Ooze on first.
Oh wow,
that's good.
Ooze on first.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate that.
Base, yeah. See, classic routine, right? Love these cards. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, what if we, maybe we're coming to a close. This thing seems like, I think I would have enjoyed it if I went.
Yeah.
The guys who put it together were feeling pretty high on it. I have one more quote from rock and roll impresario Ricky Farr.
Cool,
he says this, I can't tell you who, But I've already been asked by a major artist, a household name, if I can incorporate into his next show some of the kind of magic and illusions that we're representing with the Power Rangers live on tour.
Wow.
Who do we think it is? Who is it? Who do we think that is?
Okay, I know that he, as I said, Rod Stewart is name checked a lot, but the other one I saw a bunch that this guy represented apparently was Morrissey.
Wow,
Oh,
really?
strangely, he's taken, maybe he gets a Morrissey call on one phone, hangs up, takes a Power Rangers call.
Wow.
So I'm no Morrissey. I don't have him memorized whatsoever. But does anyone recall Morrissey having a bunch of magic that one of Morrissey's enemies was shrunk and put into a cage way above
In
the
a big
stage?
inflatable version of himself.
A big Morrissey.
I don't remember that.
Mega Morrissey. He's in his final form.
Did he make a giant inflatable guy wearing a shirt that said like the meat packing industry? You know, and
yes,
he had to defeat
maybe.
it.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that.
Yes, more veganism, more veganism.
I look up Morrissey inflatable. Let's see.
Just like, just anybody, I guess, out there, think about it. If you saw something in 96, 97 or so where there was a big inflatable guy, a bunch of magic tricks, this seems like an area where the Power Rangers might have had some lasting influence. And understandably, because what concert wouldn't be made better by a huge inflatable? There was even discussion after that of, this is really weird. Okay, what about further possibilities of Morphin rock cross-pollination? Might we someday see an arena spectacular in which Lord Zedd, weary of battling the unflagging Power Rangers, turns his nefarious attentions instead to somebody like Trent Reznor?
Whoa!
What?
And then the guy responds, well, with a chuckle, 9 Inch Nails is a client of mine, and I'm afraid poor Lord Zedd wouldn't stand a chance against Trent. But I think he'd stand a pretty fair chance against Pink Floyd's Pig. So we're I love that. Like, this is an article in the LA Times where an adult is imagining scenarios where Lord Zedd fights Trent Reznor and the Pink Floyd Pig.
That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, what a life. Rock and roll impresario Ricky Farr.
Lord Zedd being like, I hurt myself today to see.
Trent got the soul job, not me. Damn it, I wanted that Oscar.
Gosh, well, there's still possibility of Zedd. Maybe if Reznor scores a Zedd movie, like a Zedd origin movie.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Wait, why aren't we breaking them off into, did the first one not do well enough? Yeah, I want spinoffs. I want, Zedd solo, Ooze solo, obviously.
They canceled the remake, right? They were going to do a sequel to the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I
movie
think
with Bryan Cranston.
so, yeah.
I think they canceled it.
I don't think it did super
Young Zedd.
well.
I want Young Zedd.
Yeah.
Lord Young Zedd is like a show on NBC.
Yes, he's like a little boy.
Right after Young Rock.
He's a
Young
little
Zedd shows up.
And he's a little boy, but his muscles are you can see his muscles. And that's
Good.
it.
Played by Johnny Gargano.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Who could it be?
Oh, wait, I was saying
No,
you.
you.
I was saying
You
you.
are
I
Young
can't.
Zedd.
Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that responsibility to play Young Zedd. I can't bring that
That's
character
like
to life.
Hamlet. That's like Hamlet. Or
You got
something.
the helmet already.
I do have the helmet. If that's the only requirement, then yes, I can play Young Zedd.
All
If it
right.
just requires owning the Hasbro helmet, I got it. I got it in the bank.
Well, hopefully, at least Power Ranger Live people come to you after this, after I gave them the idea that you should stop wrestling and become a full-time Power Ranger live performer.
I'd love to. I'd love to.
So people out there, do it. Do it.
Yeah, any of the Power Ranger Live people out there that wants to see me on stage as the Green Ranger or White Ranger in this instance, I'm
Sure.
more than down.
Yeah.
I'm prepared. I'm fully prepared. I'm trained.
Yes.
You are.
I have a
Which,
certificate to prove it.
You have a great reel.
yeah. And that's good because the later seasons of Power Rangers, they're getting slammed into concrete a lot more often.
Is that true?
No one's kidding.
Could be. Good. More
Yeah.
practical.
Yeah, I didn't know.
practical effects.
I haven't watched it in a
Oh,
while.
God. Jason David Frank came back for this episode. He got German suplex on the concrete.
Yeah, he's a tough guy.
Jason David Frank and Austin St. John, right? Yeah, Austin St. John. They came back a lot.
They did.
They are like recently.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
They're in the family. Yeah. So anyway,
Jason David Frank in my memory was like the number one guy of my childhood. Like no one touched Jason David Frank. Like Shawn Michaels. It's like a 1-2 of Jason David Frank and Shawn Michaels to me.
Sure.
It was like my role models growing up.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Tommy was very cool. He was so cool, and he like Kimberly liked him.
He did.
Wow.
He did. So much so that I didn't even have a favorite Power Ranger until Tommy showed up. I held my reservations. I was like, I don't know. I'm not feeling anyone yet on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tommy showed up and I was like, there's my guy. There's my guy right there. I think everyone felt that way.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I am unlocking some sort of memory where I was like, then maybe Kimberly would like me if I was as cool as Tommy. I think I did I do think I liked Kimberly. I do think so. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, who wouldn't?
Yeah, come on.
Well, I think you served as a White Ranger, upping the stakes and the quality of this episode. Johnny Gargano, you survived podcast The Ride. Thanks so much for joining us from afar and via video. This is a blast. Let's exit through the gift shop. Is there anything you would like to plug?
You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheJohnnyWrestling. You can find me on YouTube at Johnny Gargano, Twitter, Johnny Gargano, Instagram, Johnny Gargano, all those fun things. I do a bunch of fun stuff. So yeah, check those things out.
Cool.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, this is a blast. Thank you so much and for giving us an excellent toy store to look at.
Anytime you guys want to come visit the toy store, feel free to hop on over.
Sure. Get that serotonin hit from childhood.
Right?
And as for us, you can find us on the socials at Podcast The Ride. We got merch in our TeePublic store. And for 3 bonus episodes every month, check out Podcast The Ride, The Second Gate at patreon.com/Podcast The Ride. And for a pickle with a smell that will linger in your memory for decades, it's Gherkin. Gotta be Gherkin.
Check out Gherkins, everyone.
The Gherkin man speaks, Jason.
Yeah.
The new mascot.
So long.
Goodbye.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. For more original podcasts, please visit foreverdogpodcasts.com and subscribe to our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Keep up with the latest Forever Dog news by following us on Twitter and Instagram @ForeverDogTeam and liking our page on Facebook.